Excuse me, I have to start this off by doing this. Dear football gods, I want to thank you very much for, giving Big Sil so much content and showing me the way. Thank you very much for other people's actions or lack of character actions will always fuel this program. People assume that we make stories up. However, people don't understand. We just comment on what happens during the day. So, how you doing? And we're going to get to this story with Diana Rossini here in a minute. As you can see, Super Chats go immediately to the top. It's the only thing that'll deviate me in the first 15 minutes off of what I'm going to say in my open here. So we appreciate each and every single one of you. Please hit the like button. What up, Sills? I have an issue with you pointing out all of Jalen's flaws, and when at the same time say you will ride that car till the wheels fall off. So which is it? Either you're with him or you're not. No. I would have stuck with the same bullshit that you're doing now because you are in a contract with a no-trade quarterback. And you have to ride this shit out because of your own incompetence of the no-trade clause. You're under the impression that you could just move out from a contract without salary cap hits, without all of that, and a no trade? Dude, you run that shit until the wheels fall off. And you don't change anything because he can't change. Two things can be true. He'll never be a prolific passer. End of story. And you've got a no trade with that quarterback. Those are both true. Those are both true. He stinks as a pocket passer, and you've got to ride this. Okay, so let's get into the story of the day. Diana Rossini. Let's talk about Rossini being sneaky with Vrabel. Okay, well, let's start out here with Leon. Diana Rossini's story is not false. I know all you wishful thinkers out there think because you're calling her a whore, and I happen to not think she is. But I'll get to my personal conversation about what she's done. Because I don't know if she's a whore or not. Just like you guys, and some of you guys in here call me a racist. How would I fucking know if she's a whore? And nor do you know. So before you make those comments, you don't know her from a can of paint. I really don't know her from a can of paint. So this is, again, just your bullshit on talking about people you don't have any idea who you're talking about. Vrabel banging Diana and telling her to force a narrative to slander AJ and the Eagles to force a trade should be against the NFL's policy. Okay, listen, I got to read these. And I told you Super Chats go to the top. So would you consider moving up to 17 to land Freeling? That's where I'm hearing he's going. Okay. Hey, Marsh, let me go over here to you. Okay. By the way, Supers go to the top. Here is my problem with Diana Rossini. And Marshall's onto it. Let's say the Rams were close to making a deal and getting a deal done with the Eagles on trading for A.J. Brown. Let's just say that. All of a sudden, she's talking to numerous general managers and she's talking to numerous people going after stories. Remember, this was the time of free agency. And she's talking to numerous GMs. She's on that chain of agents and all that go on with players that are getting intel on contracts. She's one of the more plugged in people. So to Marshall's point here, he's right. How do you know she's not spreading false stories and dampening the market for the Eagles to be able to trade him to multiple teams? That's my problem. She can't, and has nothing to do with the Patriots and the Eagle trade. That's going to come down to Howie. That's not going to come down to whether or not you think Mike Vrabel's banging her or not. That has nothing to do with this. Is going to come down with Howie making the choice and whether or not Howie's going to make the call on it. You think Howie Roseman gives a shit if Diana Rossini's banging Mike Vrabel? He's making the deal with Elliott Wolf. He has no caring on that. There's no bearing whatsoever on that. No, zero. The story has not changed. I told you it's a 2 and a 3. Now, the other part of this story, Diane's credibility. Well, look, you're the ones that are shocked. All of you are shocked. And by the way, no shade on John McMullen, but boy, I'll tell you, reporters protect reporters. And that is something that goes on in our business. No matter what happens, no matter what they do, they will defend those guys no matter what they say or do. And I don't trust them as far as I could throw them, and I don't trust the Eagles. If you guys believe guys like M. Reyes in here, he's the guy that fucking will do this. He'll try to tell you that Diana Rossini's a whore and that her stories are all bullshit, but he'll turn around and tell you everything the Eagles print is true. I don't believe any of their guys. I don't believe anybody. Okay? I threw a little sauce in my comment, but that's like an insider trading and a conflict of interest. Real talk, that's against the law, man. No. Hey, Marsh, I think it's an integrity issue. I do too. Okay? I do. I think that's an issue, me trusting that source and doing all that. And by the way, the story hasn't changed. The Patriots want to give a 2 and a 3. I've been consistent on this for 6 months. Or wait, since the end of the season, excuse me. Since we talked to the folks in New England. It's a 2 and a 3. Plain and simple. Nothing's changed. Okay? The problem that you have, okay? Let's look at this. Sills, you're in fucking shambles because there's a great likelihood you spent your whole offseason bitching about a manufactured narrative. That's your fucking opinion, guy. And get this. Get this, folks. So are you calling Les Snead a liar too? In saying that he was trying to trade for A.J. Brown? He confirmed it. That's just another team. Get this. This guy's saying that Les Snead is a liar too because they were trying to make a trade with the Eagles. And he confirmed it. Wasn't a fucking narrative, guy. It's facts. So the Rams tried to make a trade for him. And this guy thinks I've been making a false narrative when a football team other than the Patriots were actually trading for A.J. Brown at the same time. Are you saying that A.J. Brown was not in a conversation for a potential trade now and Les Snead's a liar too? Is that right? So you called Diana Rossini a whore. Now you're calling Les Snead a liar. But everything out of the Philadelphia Eagles is truth. Is that right, Reyes? That's right? What a dick. This guy will tell you, I told you, he'll believe anything that comes out of that place. Shambles? I don't have to be in shambles. Another football team addressed it and said, yeah, we tried to make a trade for Brown. That's not a false narrative, dude. What you guys are doing now is taking a shit on Rossini, hoping the story's not true, or trying to not give her credibility as a insider. She is an insider. Her character's being attacked right now, not her story. Maybe how she got her story is being attacked as well. But the story's not false. You're making that shit up. Just like you make every other bullshit story up. Okay? She raised the temperature. Get this. Look at this guy. AJ Drama's fabricated. So Jeff McClain's a fucking liar. And Tim McManus is a liar. That everybody in the building in there hates the offense. The wide receiver can't stand the offense, but that's fabricated. Bro, you're going to have to take the day off here, man. Honest to God. Because you're so far off base. You thought I was going to come in here and kill Diana Rossini. I don't give a shit either way because you know why? I don't trust any of them. I never have. You're the ones that do. You're the ones that lean into that. You're the ones that buy into that bullshit. I don't buy into it. Everybody's got an agenda in this. Every human being. Hey, you see this guy? He's got an agenda every single day coming in here, trying to fuck with the channel, trying to fuck with me, trying to do, and he thinks that matters. I don't really care. I'm glad he's here every day. I really am. And I hope he keeps posting his insignificant post because I don't really give a shit what he says. I don't read them. I don't care. I love the fact that he's so determined every single day to come here and post things, contact YouTube on us, try to do everything to shut my show down. I love that. I can't tell you how we appreciate that. Because you know why? That means I know I'm winning. Seals, wouldn't you do the same and cover for Eskin? No, I would not. I would not cover for Eskin and Angelo. No way. I'm not covering for anybody like that. That's why I have so few friends in the industry. If I felt that Angelo and Mike and all these guys were doing stupid shit, I'm not covering for that. I got my own shit to worry about. Absolutely not. Talk show hosts are different than these so-called journalist guys who think they defend the profession. The profession has been fucked for 20 years. I would not defend anybody. If you did something wrong, I'd call your ass out on it. Absolutely not. And I would be called out too. Okay, bottom line. Listen, why do you give a shit who Diana Rossini is? Is it to make yourselves feel better that you could come out and say, see, the story's false? The story's not false. Her character's under attack here, not her story. That's what's under attack. Maybe her way of getting the story is also under attack. But there have been numerous people, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Daniel Jeremiah, all of these people have written stories that A.J. Brown will be traded post-June 1. Why are you making whether or not she's having sex with Mike Vrabel or not part of the story? It's not. Her story is fact. Hey, if she had sex with the head coach of the Patriots and that's how she got the story's not false. Her credibility is on the table now. That doesn't mean her story's false. Okay? She's part of the story. How? What influence does Diana Rossini have on her going to the Patriots? The Rossini story is disappointing. If true, both parties tearing their families apart, worth it. However, don't change that. AJ still wants out. That's a whole different conversation. You're talking about potentially two families being affected. That's got nothing to do with AJ. That's got nothing to do with it. Zero. You're under the impression. See, I can see right now there's a problem with people because they're looking at Diana Rossini and they have a big problem because they're shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. But she's been pushing a narrative. Yes? What narrative? That he's going to be dealt? Les Snead said he was in a conversation with Howie on a trade. Ian Rappaport reported that he's going to be traded. Adam Schefter said he's likely going to be traded June 1. Is that a narrative? So let me get this right. They're all banging Mike Vrabel? So wait a minute. Leon, they're all banging Mike Vrabel? Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Diana Rossini? They're all saying the same shit. The story's not false. Okay? The story The story is not false. You know what? This is what Eagle fans do. Because right now, get this. Here's what's already happened. AJ's lost a step. He's not the player he was. His character issues are not very good. He's becoming more of a problem on the football team. You're finding ways now to disassociate yourself with the guy because this is what human nature does. When you know somebody doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore, what you do is you start to departmentalize how you can have your feelings disassociate yourself with that person. You see it in business all the time. People will start disassociating themselves by ghosting them. They'll do other things. This is what you did. Hell, you did this to Gardner Johnson on the way out the first time. You called him a cancer, bad seed, not a good player, not a good dude. You bastardized the guy on the way out the door. Slay, lost a step, guy's cooked, he's no good. You do that shit with everybody. Jalen Phillips, overpaid, don't want to pay him, not a $30 million guy. And yet that was the top priority for the Eagles in the offseason was signing Jalen Phillips. The number one priority the Philadelphia Eagles had this priority offseason was signing Jalen Phillips, and they failed. You can make whatever you want up. Listen, Diana Rossini's character, I don't give a shit about. That has no bearing up. Now, if we were going to be friends and we were going to do this or that, yeah, that's one thing. I don't care about that. Hey, if she has sex and she bangs all 32 coaches and she gets all the intel and it's factual, you want to go after her for her integrity? That's okay. I get it. But if the story's true, I don't give a shit. Do I trust her? No. But wait, again, I want to see the story play out a little more too. Just because you see a picture of somebody doesn't mean you indict them on it. Because again, I know how many of the people are in here. They read something, they hear something, they assume it. Big Sills, is there any way to fix Hurts' limitations? No, there's no way to fix Joe Burrow's limitations. You coach around them. Every player's got limitations, dude. That doesn't mean you're not a winner. Seals, all the Rossini did was cast a shadow on her future as a reporter. Correct. Right there, it's correct. My problem is also, okay, the New York Times. So the New York Times has supported her because the Athletic is part of the New York Times. And she's one of the most plugged in people. My question is, are NFL organizations going to be cool with that? With a person that's going to be coming in and talking to married players? Is she fucking around with the married players too? Let me tell you something. Every dude answers to an old lady. You walk in there and all of a sudden you got Diana Rossini hanging around you and you're talking to her. How's that going to be perceived by the organization? Are players going to be more open to her or less open to her? It puts her career in jeopardy. It absolutely does. No, and I'm with you on that too, James. I don't give a shit. But I'm talking about somebody that works in the business. It's gonna affect their integrity. I heard Lori spent Big Dom to take those picks. How you doing? I said AJ was going to be traded to New England when Vrabel was hired by the Patriots. Apparently, I'm doing him too. I was wondering why I was so. There you go, Latino. How you doing, my friend? I was in Tennessee on a work trip, and these married women were talking trash about their husbands and trying to hook up. It's a crazy world, fellas. Hey, listen. Again, that's a whole different conversation, though. I'm not telling you that she hasn't taken a dent in the credibility angle of her stories going forward. Absolutely. But the fact that other reputable people in the bit. Hey, and by the way, here's another thing here. You see here with M. Reyes, he believes every single fucking thing that comes out of Bob Lang's mouth. They believe everything. Guys like him believe everything that comes out of the Philadelphia Eagles. If a reputable person like Diana Rossini, who you thought prior to this story, is capable of that, you don't think the Eagles are capable of loading up false stories, do you? Not him. He thinks all the bullshit that the Eagles sell and sell you, he bites it. Okay? He's the guy that believes all that. I see. So Diana Rossini does something like that, but the Eagles are incapable, right? Is that what you're saying? How delusional are you? Big Sills, you think if tight ends were more involved in the passing game, would be better? Yeah, because then you'd have an intermediate passing game and you'd be throwing across the middle of the field. I sure do. I wonder what excuse she used with her husband. Again, I mean, who cares? I don't fucking care about that stuff. Why should you? Hey, let them folks deal with that. If there's something there, you'll know there was divorce and separation and all that. Who cares? I don't fucking give a shit about it. Marsh, Sills, I totally understand your point, but it's still, this hurts the integrity of the Shield. Yeah, because you know why, Marsh? She's plugged in. She's not, a talk show host like me or like Angelo or Howard. She's plugged in. And I think what you're saying here, and correct me if I'm right here, Marsh, she has access to places in the facilities because she's credentialed on 32 teams and to the front office. Okay? So she's plugged into all these places. She gets access and 24 access to all the major places in the NFL. She can go to the commissioner's office and request an interview with the commissioner. You can't have reporters pushing narratives and screwing a part of the narrative. My guess is AJ might be traded, but not a Patriot. No way, dude. It's the Patriots. It's the New England Patriots. 2 and a 3. It's on the table. Howie just has to do it. Now, I agree with you on this point, okay? I agree. My problem with it is, let's see if she tweeted something about the Rams and AJ Brown. AJ Brown, Rossini, Rams. Diana Rossini has continuously reported on A.J. Brown, but ESPN's Adam Schefter states that Brown was close to being a Ram. Okay, so let's put this out here. And I'll say this one more time to you here. Okay? And this is conversation. So let's put it this way. The Eagles and Rams were further along at one point for A.J. Brown than people realized. Was that out there? Was Diana on that? Were other people on that? I don't know. At one point, I remember thinking, boy, there's a chance this deal's going to get done. And then all of a sudden, there was a report by Diana Rossini that came up that the Patriots had offered draft picks up. Rams back out. That's, I think, what you're talking about, Marsh. Okay? See this? I'll always fight back and say this. Rossini in a bikini. Well, she's right. And her story's right. Let's see here. NFL wants the storyline at AJ goes back to his coach, to his favorite team. Too many storylines. We're worried about tampering and collusion aspect about it. How? Diana doesn't work for the Eagles. How could it be collusion? Unless she's talking to Howie Roseman and she implicates Howie Roseman in some sort of back channels and she's part of that? Is that what you're assuming? How? How is she tampering? She's not a member of the Eagles or the Patriots. She doesn't even work for the NFL. She works for The Athletic. How is she tampering? How could she manipulate the story? I think you guys are weighing too much of her integrity being questioned and the way she gets her information and her future as a broadcaster or a reporter. And you're trying to tie that in to her being like a liar because she fucked allegedly on her husband. And it somehow that dismisses the story, even though Les Snead, Kevin Demoff, Ian Rappaport, Daniel Jeremiah, all are reporting also that there's a chance, a good deal of it is that post June 1, A.J. Brown's gone. They're all saying that. And yet you think because Diana was seen holding hands with Mike Vrabel in Arizona, that the story's not real? Based on what? Like, based on what? So you think her having sex, if that's the case with Mike Vrabel, the story's phony? That's ridiculous. Her story's been verified by too many different insiders. What she does in her personal life is totally separate. Completely right. All her sources are just people she's fucking. Well, if it happens to be, and I'm allegedly saying this, the commissioner of the NFL, a head football coach, or a couple GMs, those are pretty good sources she's banging. And I'm not saying she's doing that. I mean, if she's banging Sig, I think her sources, again, I don't know, no disrespect, Sig, but I don't think you're the same guy if you're Roger Goodell. I'm not saying she's doing that. See? You're going all off of assumption. This is a great topic to separate the chat into their proper reading groups. Correct. There's people in here that actually are tying Diana Rossini into being a non-high character person, which she may not be, and thinking that has anything to do with her reporting. I actually think it verified it more. Because if you're willing to put your job on the line to bang a head coach in the NFL, I think that story's even more truer. You put your entire reputation on the line to bang a guy, you better hope the story's true. I'm even more convinced that he's being traded June 1 today than ever before. You put your reputation on the line like that, you better, I'll tell you what, the worst thing that can happen to Diana Rossini is that story's false. She gets fired by the Athletic and she can't work again in the business. I mean, then you wasted everything. If you have no problem having an affair on your husband, you have no problem telling lies to strangers. Just saying, Sills. Marshall, her story has been validated by other folks, though. It's not just one. She's not the only person talking about AJ being traded June 1st. There's actually a general manager that said they were in the process of trading for him. How in God's name are you not plugging that in? Wait a second. Wait, I'm wrong? How many people has A.J. Brown been validated by the GM of the Rams saying we tried trading for him? What's the point then? I'd like to know what the point is. If she's banging a guy, what's the point? Was the weenie worth the squeeze? We're going to find out. Okay? What's the point? Sills, where we're seeing we'll have biggest issue is teams might not share info with her if they were afraid of pillow talk. Not everything discussed in an interview is on the record. Do you guys remember what's the girl? Let me see here. Let me get this one. Let me go here with this. You guys remember what happened to Rachel Nichols? Do you guys remember Rachel Nichols on ESPN? You guys remember what happened to her? She got accused of having sex with Jimmy Butler during COVID in Orlando. Remember what happened? Where is she today? And Rachel Nichols was a plugged-in person for the NBA. She was as plugged in as anybody. Remember they got that video of her coming out of the limousine? She was married. No, she wasn't married. She's married. She was married, bro. I know Rachel Nichols. What do you mean she wasn't married? She was married when she got that whole thing came out where she was accused of having sex because the players in the hotels there in Orlando, she was up on the floors. And she basically got fired. Where's she today? That's something she's going to have to deal with. The story on AJ has not changed. Okay? So how does she keep her job after this? Terrible professionalism and integrity. I'll tell you how she keeps her job. Because these reporters protect one another. They'll never protect a guy like me. Because I'm an ex-player. And I've been in this business too long. They don't protect people like me. They protect each other. Right or wrong. They just protect one another. Like, if somebody says something negative about a sports reporter, they all come to them like wolves. Personally, I don't give a shit about them. I don't. So again, listen. Diana Rossetti and her personal life, I could give a shit about. She'll just be another reporter that went over the line to try to get sources. And she got caught with her hand in a cookie jar a little bit here. And her career will take a hit for it. Like everyone else has. At the end of the day, the story's not phony. You know what really is wild? Is that Eagle fans, you guys think because you're calling her a whore, you're trying to convince yourself that A.J. Brown's not going to be traded. Well, he is. That's not going to change. You're right, Sills. Johnny Mack was being a little defensive with Zander, but Zander was spot on. Yeah, because Zander's a broadcaster now. He's not a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I never have been. I never wanted to be. And I went to journalism school. I never wanted to be. Okay? You can't be and do what I do and be a journalist. It's impossible. The reason that Howard Eskin and Angelo, those guys come from the Inquirer. Those guys come from the Inquirer. I don't come from any of that bullshit. All right? And by the way, what's really cool about us, we were in radio for 35 years, and right now we got a TV show on the weekend on Sports Grid. We got what we do here. We got a radio show in Tampa now. And my show's #1 in Tampa. Nearly 4 million people have watched the Sports Grid show, and everyone knows where we are here, Monday through Friday. I don't give a shit to be friends with any of these guys. Okay? Here's another good one. Right, my friend Joy, who's a dear friend of mine. Joy got caught. There was a relationship in the building. They fired her. Have you seen her since? No. And Joy is very close to me. I love her. My wife loves her. We love her very much. She was an integral part of my program when she produced it. She was my producer for 2 years. Okay? Do I think any less of her? It's hard for me because she's a friend. But here, the rule is, you know what's crazy too? I'll tell you this. End of the day, I'll give you a story about what my wife told Joy one day. Joy used to walk in to my studio. Joy's a beautiful girl. And I'm not saying she was trying anything because I'm not. But Joy went to my wife and she knew that my wife had produced my show for 20 years. You know what Joy told her? I can't impress him in any way, shape, or form. You know what my wife said? You want to impress him? Get him a guest. She got me Dan Marino. I said, great. I have never in my entire life ever been accused of sexual harassment or ever in any way, shape, or form ever had any issues like that in my 38 years in broadcasting. Never been. I've been accused of everything, but I have never been accused of that. You know why? It's inappropriate behavior. And I've got a wife. It's inappropriate behavior. Okay? Never worked with her. Never accused of anything with her. Ever. I called her a Dumbo and a bimbo. Okay? I never called her anything other than that. And I never worked with her. Your favorite talk show host, Dan Sileo, the April Winfrey of Eagles Talk. Dude, you should listen to Adam Schefter on Kincaid Show. Oh my God. It was a masterpiece. Adam was so careful with his choice of words. Of course he was. Because he knows Diana has a lot of powerful people behind her. You're going to find out immediately if the NFL is going to embrace her or they're going to kick her out. You'll definitely know. But at the end of the day, once again, the story's not false. Do you know how many people came on my ex account? You know what the first thing they said was? Oh, well, Diana Rossini's a hooker, so, the story's false. It's not true. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's how that works. Yeah, no, I don't think that's how exactly that works. But you're praying. This is the AJ people that are praying that the story's not real. Again, then what is the point? Hey, Bill, then what's the point? Get this guy here. Hang on. No standards? My standard is never to believe anybody. What's your standard? To kiss and walk around on your knees for the fucking Eagles? No character? You're the ones that believe these people, not me. What do you mean? I never believed anything with people with character. Are you under the impression you don't know Diana Rossini to trust her? Even before this. You people are disgusting when you make narratives on people you've never met in your life. It's like the whole Trump thing. I hope Trump dies. I hope Trump this. I hope he's this and that. Have you ever met him? No. Okay. Well, how do you know? Well, I just know. It's classic bullshit. I have never seen more people cast aspersions on other people you've never met. It's like the stupid people that go over to my ex account. Oh, Sales, you're a racist. Do you know me? No. Do you ever met anybody I know? No. Well, then how do you know? I read about it. Oh, you read about it. That's like M. Reyes. I read it off the Eagle Twitter. So what's the point there, dude? I'm looking for the point you were trying to make. So what's the point? I'm trying to figure out your point. Okay? Honestly, what's the point? Let me see this guy. Did see? Character matters? Of course character matters. I'm not asking her out for a fucking date. See, a guy like this thinks this. He thinks that a prostitute is a liar, even though that may be the only way that woman can make money. So she's got no morals, even though you don't know at home if she's putting food on the table for those kids or somebody she's supporting. You have no idea. You just call her a whore. And you don't know anybody's circumstances. You just call them a whore. Not knowing anything about anybody. A prostitute at least does this. Hey, I got to do this for my family to make money for my kids. Is it moralistically right for you and me? No. But that's not my call. That's her call. If Diana Rossini went down this lane and wanted to put her job on the line, that's her call. I don't give a shit about that. The point is that Vrabel is just coincidentally the coach of the team, and that's the favorite to trade for the number one player. 90% of her reporting has been on. I think all of her reporting has been dead on. Thank you, Cover. Hey, like I said, I'm not talking about Woman of the Year here. You are. You guys are the ones doing this. I mean, look, you think because she's low character that her sources aren't the NFL sources. She may have low character and her sources are the NFL coaches and GMs. You have a problem with the way she got it. I have a problem with it too. I won't lie. But at the end of the day, she's the one that's going to have to take the collateral damage for this, just like Rachel Nichols did. And just like every other person that's had to deal with this kind of stuff. You guys are missing the point. Sills, does this set back women in sports reporting? Absolutely. Every woman like Hannah Storm and Pam Oliver and those women that do those great work and have great integrity, Tracy Wolfen, who I think is a fantastic sideline reporter and worked their way up, absolutely it hurts them. Absolutely. Women and minorities in sports broadcasting, you're damn right that hurts them. Seriously, you literally make narratives every day. For example, AJ hates Hurts. You don't know them. I'm not a fucking journalist. I just got through telling you that. I'm a talk show host. Marsh, don't confuse me with me making topics up every day. Journalists don't make topics up. Talk show hosts, broadcasters do. I'm not the same guy. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. You got me confused, dude. It just so happens a lot of people come on here and we know people. Got him. All right, Leon. Congratulations. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Big Sills, what's your biggest concern with the offense and defense? As a matter of fact, I wrote that down. We're going to get there. Sills is defending banging her. He's defending her too much. I'm not defending her. I don't give a fuck. What do you mean defending her? You guys care about that shit. I care about where A.J. Brown's traded. You're questioning her character and trying to tie that into a story that's been validated. It's unbelievable. I mean, you're missing the point. I agree. You guys are out of your minds. You're tying in because she has no character. And you want to pray so bad that you think that the A.J. Brown story is not true now. You're mistaken caring for making fun of her. So stop it, big fella. You know better than that. You're mistaken caring for making fun of her. I don't care. Dude, I don't really like reporters. I don't really care about reporters. I think the reporters hate me. I am everything. John McMullen. Love doing work with him here at JAKIB. Doesn't like working with me. You know why? Because I create too much of a problem because of the Eagles. And some of the things I say are completely against everything John believes in. He's a reporter. I'm cool with that. He's not with me. That's fine. I know this, and I accept this. And I have no ill will. But that's not what I do. I do 4 hours a day, actually 7 hours of broadcasting a day. And counting those weekend shows, if you put it into context, I do over 50 hours of broadcasting a week. Okay? I don't give a shit about report. Could care less. And you know what? You know what I love? Look at how many people in here are shocked that a reporter got caught allegedly banging a head coach of a football team. How in God's name are you shocked over that? How are you shocked over that? What? I mean, it's like being shocked that Tiger is not that great a dude. I'll tell you why. Because you buy into everything these folks say. I never do. Okay? Sills is acting disingenuous. That's what I do, folks. For 40 years of broadcasting, I've been disingenuous. Sills, all journalists trade on inside info. There's no difference between Rossini-Vrabel relationship, WIP fanatic relationship with Bob Lang. She landed a story. They sit on them. Yeah. Hey, how about the Fab Five that the Eagles have with the so-called group of 5 or 6 people that they give intel out, and they use a fancy word called embargo. Imagine this. You give somebody a story, and you're a reporter, and they're telling you to sit on it. Well, who do you work for? Your readers? Your listeners? Or do you work for the Eagles? That's my problem. People like Diana Rossini work. I mean, they'll hold the story if a team tells them to. Well, who do you work for? I mean, who do you work for? Sills, are you giving Diana Rossini a pass? No. Don't worry. Her career will take a huge hit for this. Rachel Nichols did. Joy Taylor's did. Hers will too. This will come. This is going to take care of itself. It's totally going to take care of itself. But once again, the story's not false. I'm shocked how they want to hold players to a higher standard with all the money they make compared to reporter. They should really care less technically, especially being married. Hey, how about this, Ish? If you put the same issues on a reporter that the reporters ask the players when it comes to some of their questions, I guarantee you'd fire half the media in NFL because of their immoral ways that they have about themselves. By the way, thought it was awesome. I saw somebody get, what was it? I thought Missinelli get in trouble. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Oh, yeah, and this is the same guy that called me a racist. According to a court document, Mike Missinelli was arraigned for simple assault and harassment charges. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Guy don't know me from a can of paint. Goes around telling everybody I'm a racist. I've never met the guy. All he's ever done is write books about me. Same with that other guy, that reporter you have, that Hall of Fame guy. I've never met the guy. I've never even spoken to the guy. These people think they know you. They don't know me. I have a handful of people that I get to know me. The access to people that in here, you guys have more access to me than anybody in broadcasting has ever had access. So, yeah, these people don't know me. You know me more than Missinelli knows me. So, again, Diana Rossini. Here, look. Let me get to my topic. Now, I will say this. To Pumper's point, if you're talking to other football teams, somebody brings up A.J. Brown, we're thinking of trading for him. How does she respond to that? You know, if she's got a personal relationship with Mike Vrabel and she's talking to Sean McVay and they're trying to put a story together and she's like, yeah, Patriots, they're not really interested because they think he's got a knee injury or something. I don't know. Anything. I don't know. You're capable of saying anything when you have and get your sources the way she is, allegedly. Okay? So, yes, there is something to that. And Pump, I agree. And that's not tampering? No. Tampering? Bro, you know what tampering is? Mike Vrabel calling A.J. Brown and saying, how'd you like to be a Patriot? Diana Rossini calling A.J. Brown and asking him if he'd like to be a Patriot. How in God's name is that tampering? No one is mad that her cheeks are getting clapped. Who gives a damn? It's the fact that she's been the main one pushing the AJ story. What's her motivation? Okay, that is a great take. Leon, you answered your own question. What's her motivation? Look what he just wrote. Folks, I want you to follow up Leon. By the way, Leon, thank you. No one is mad at her for getting whatever. Who gives a shit? It's the fact that she's been the main one pushing the AJ story. What's her motivation? Why don't you finish it, Leon? She wants to be first. Alexa, play Dirty Diane by Michael Jackson. How you doing? She wants to be first. She wants to get the scoop. She doesn't want Adam Schefter to get the scoop on it. Okay? I mean, I don't think it's that hard. Well, maybe that's not the way to go, but I'm just saying. I mean, let's see here. Get this. Or Sills chooses not to see between the lines. Reyes, what's between the lines? Which story? Rappaport? The Adam Schefter story about AJ? Or the Daniel Jeremiah story? Or the Albert Breer story? Which one? Reading between the lines. Let's take Diana Rossini out of it. So Adam Breer's lying. Albert Breer's lying. Adam Schefter's lying. Daniel Jeremiah's lying. The general manager of the Rams is lying. What's between the lines? What's between the lines? What's between the lines? There's 11 different outlets that have reported on AJ being dealt June 1. You guys are trying to do, again, what I tell you do all the time. You're taking Diana Rossini, a messenger of the intel, and you're trying to tar and feather her so that anything she reports is not factual. Okay? You may have a problem with the way she got it and her information. I do too. But not when it's by other people that are reputable in the business. Okay? We're just trying to make a hit piece about her like she does about our team. What's a hit piece? A.J. Brown wants to be traded? That's not a hit piece. Sills, I have to say I'm glad you are who you are. That's why I rock with you. But is there any chance, possible chance, that AJ to the Patriots can be undone, especially if they don't offer what Howie wants for a trade? That's a great topic. I heard Zander and John say something. By the way, this is so awesome where we are right now. And Jeff McClain basically said this about Jalen Hurts. And this goes into AJ. So supposedly, for them to connect with Jalen Hurts, he implied that they have to go through the media to talk to the quarterback, and they can't have a face-to-face with the guy. To connect with the guy, they have to use, like, the media, social media, NFL reporters to connect with the guy. I don't want to work with a guy like that. If I can't come up to you and tell you how I feel about your play, I don't want that guy as my guy in my huddle. I've got to play and I've got to go through the media to talk to my quarterback because my quarterback doesn't like to be approached. Who the fuck are you? I'll tell you something, man. That guy is without a doubt one of the biggest egomaniacs in Philadelphia sports history. If all this shit is true, he doesn't like to be coached. He doesn't like to go under center. He changes plays, and you have to use the media to talk to him. This guy's full of shit. This guy is so full of shit. I'll tell you flat out, too, what makes him a superior player to Tom Brady, Brady said his greatest asset was being a better teammate and being the best teammate I could possibly be. Hey, you want to really get pissed off at somebody? You should get pissed off at Jeff McClain for pushing a narrative that Jalen Hurts has to be spoken to through the media. That's a narrative. Diana Rossini printing a story about AJ being traded, that's a fact. That's a fact. I don't think some of you in here know the difference between narratives and facts. Facts are the Rams, they basically confirmed it, that they tried to trade for AJ and the Eagles were open. Get this. Albert Breer, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter have all reported on this. All of them. Every single one of them. Take Diana out of it. Who gives a shit? He's still getting traded June 1. Another narrative you don't know him. So how can you say he's full of shit or an egomaniac? Keep it consistent. Oh, no. I said if that story's true. You didn't hear the word if. If what Jeff McClain, I said the word if. You got to listen, Marsh. You didn't hear me say it. If that story is true, that Jeff McClain is saying that you can't talk to that dude, but through the media, that's a narrative. The shit that's being printed about AJ being traded is not a narrative. That's a fact. You should be more pissed off at Jeff McClain's reporting that Jalen Hurts has to be spoken through the media. That's his shit, not me. Should the Birds trade up for a wide receiver if AJ's traded? You ain't trading AJ Brown on draft day, dude. Good question. I would. You know why? Because there is a narrative out there that he's a disgruntled player. If I were him, I'd show up to OTAs. And I want to keep my value going. I would show up to OTAs. Sills, the real issue will be how the Patriots and Shield deal with this. She's done nothing illegal. A piece of shit tends to get involved in stuff. I don't know what she's done that's illegal or against any bylaw. She doesn't work for the league. Fletcher already called McClain a clown. Okay? That clown covers your team. Sills is mad because he had to spend 1 hour talking about Diane over shitting on Hurts and AJ. Dude, shitting on Hurts? Why are you saying I'm shitting on Hurts when every article in the last 2 weeks has been about shitting on Hurts? Your hires have been about shitting on Hurts. The commentary coming out of that building has been about shitting on Hurts. You need to get your shit together, guy. Sills, will you do a Eagles round 7 mock draft before I'm right the week of the draft? Yes. That's my last one. Eagles talking to a player through the media. Say that again, slow to yourself. Nobody believes that. They don't separate like that. Come on, bro. Wait a second. The Eagles talking to a player through the media. No, they talk to a player through their agent. If you want to talk about a player, Howie Roseman talks to the agent. And then once you get the agent on, you get him here saying this. Hey, what's Slay want? What's Slay doing? You think he could come out of retirement, be on our team? What do you think? You don't have to talk to an agent about a player. I mean, a reporter. You talk to the agent. That's how you get around it. You go like this. If I want to talk about Tom Brady, I call Don Yee. Don Yee may have a couple prospects going into the NFL draft. And you may say this. You know what? I'll give you a better one. when John Lynch traded for Jimmy Garoppolo, I had him on. Do you guys know who he called first? When he called Belichick, they were trying to trade for Tom Brady. They said, nah. And that's how they got Garoppolo. Because they were both represented by Don Yee. Did I get that last one here? Yeah, I did. Okay, let me go here. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate you. Big Z. By the way, Zander, Battle Royale at 4:30. I didn't send you the emails. If we can get those out to those guys, Philly 500 and Mark Holmes, that'll be at 4:30. Thanks, bro. I forgot. Apologize, man. So it's Battle Royale. Quick stardom and Philly Glaze will be Hurts' downfall. If the rumors are true, he's got a big head. A body bag could have won that Super Bowl. Well, Sam Darnold could have. Man, I can't believe where you guys went today with this. There's no way Jalen Hurts is the quarterback in the Eagles in 27. There's too much smoke. If he's not playing well, then the first 4 games with Key would be the starter. You got to kid yourself, man. You got a no trade in there. You got to work around that. You got to be down bad to drive 2 hours to get buns. Listen, I don't care about that. I cover the Eagles. Not bullshit like that. Seals, do you think that affects her way of being able? No, it'll affect her moving forward. Yeah. Look, I know this business. She, in 2 years, she'll be like Rachel Nichols. That's where it's going. Don't worry, guys. She won't be in this thing that long. NFL's not going to tolerate that. You're not going to bring a girl like that into a locker room with married football players knowing that this girl has been philandering around, allegedly. That's not going to happen. Zills, could this be grounds for getting your press credential revoked? Now, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe. Because you don't have to break the law to get your press pass revoked. Okay? Like the Eagles have told Zander, they're never ever going to give me a JAKIB. I don't really need him. I'm credentialed nationally. So I don't really need him. But he said that. So they can credential whoever they want. Okay? It's a great take here. And I'm going to show you something here. How do you think and by the way, well, I'm going to tie this in with Diana here in a minute. How well do you guys think the passing game has played the last 2 years? What do you think? This is why the story's true. Okay? M. Reyes. Where are you, M. Reyes? How do you think the passing game's been the last? A B. Okay? Where are you, M. Reyes? Give me an A. Come on, man. Okay. Yep. I'll go there. Quarterback looks like he can't throw the ball. D+. Okay? Let's ask this guy. What do you think the passing game has been like the last 2 years? Again, folks, remember something. The Eagles have hired a brand new passing game. All the people involved in the passing game, they're all brand new people, every one of them. So, Johnny Dickstick, how do you think the passing game's been the last 2 years? We'll put his credibility in you guys right front and center because there'll be narratives and excuses that he'll come up for it. How do you think the passing game has been the last 2 years? M. Reyes says B minus. Come on, dickhead. I got all day. You post a billion things, put one up there. Passing game. See, this is what we do. We take out the biggest loser we can find because I want to show you I'm equal with everybody, especially asshats like this. I love that word, actually. Come here, guy. Where are you? How do you think the passing game has been the last 2 years? B minus. I see another one. I give this guy another minute, and then we're moving on here. Okay. So since he doesn't want to answer, I'll ask you. Okay? And then you tell me what you guys think. So, and this goes into this report that you think is now not true about A.J. Brown going to New England because in some of your eyes, Diana Rossini's now a whore. Okay? So in the last 2 years, the Philadelphia Eagle passing game has been ranked 29th and 23rd. And here's Jalen Hurts personally. Passing yards. In the last 2 years, this is a total, folks, of nearly 30, what is it, 15? No, 50, like 30 games, 30 plus games. This is 30 plus games. Okay? 30. Jalen Hurts, his offenses have been ranked 29th and 23rd in passing. And why is that relevant? A.J. Brown makes $32 million. Devontae Smith makes $25 million. That's $57 million bucks between those two guys. And the quarterback makes 50. That is $107 million between three guys for the 29th and 23rd passing game in pro football. Okay? See this here? Hold on here. Well, then why'd they fire everybody? Just win? If that's the case, the Eagles wouldn't have fired anybody. They'd have ran it back. Hey, it's one thing to fire a coordinator, the entire coaching staff, but two, the running back and the wide receiver coach, that's it? So here, I'll show you exactly what the problem is with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts the last 2 years ranks 18th in passing yards. C.J. Stroud, Geno Smith, Jared Goff has the most at 9,000 passing yards in the last 2 years. Stafford second, Sam Darnold's third. Baker Mayfield's fourth. Bo Nix is fifth. Justin Herbert is sixth. Shit, Mahomes missed 2 games, and he's seventh. Aaron Rodgers is there. Jalen Hurts is 18th. Okay. Passing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is 15th. Passing attempts. Jalen Hurts is 19th. Completions. Hurts is 18th. And in completion percentage, Jalen Hurts is 10th. So, your passing game and your performance by your quarterback the last 2 years has been god-awful. 30 games. It's some of the worst passing numbers of anybody in the league. Under 3K passing and 25 TDs. That's backup quarterback numbers. Correct. That's the problem they have with the quarterback. Is that the quarterback has the passing game and his own game over the last 2 years as what, if not the worst, he is the worst quarterback of any contending football team in the NFL. His passing attack is the worst of any football team that is contending for a Super Bowl. And this is why they fired everybody. And this is why they're making a change. And this is why all these stories are coming out. And this is why A.J. Brown wants out. It's not getting any better. His own personal numbers now suffer. He's just not. The passing offense all around is awful. These are not elite numbers for 30 games. You point out the Super Bowl. What about the other 29, 31 games that he's dog shit in? What about those games? And if Saquon Barkley's not a good player, your offense blows? I would have to think still Dilfer. Probably Dilfer. I would still think Trent is in that room. Steel's wide receiver coach has no fix for the passing game problems. No, he's not involved in any way. How about this? Wait a second. I want to show you how this guy here, okay, is not getting what the Eagles are doing. So you are a stats guy. Pull up Hurts and Allen's 2025 passing stats. You'll be shocked. Josh Allen has to do more in that offense. He's got to do more. Cook is great. There's nobody in the passing game. He's got to make that shit work. His top wide receiver had 700 yards last year. He didn't have a passing game, but he made it work. And by the way, in the last 2 years, Josh Allen's 12th in passing. Hurts is 19th. With A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, he's 18. What are you talking about? Look at these numbers here. 29th in 2024, 23rd last year, 18th in yards passing, 10th, 15th in TD passes, 19th in a... Do you understand something? Out of 32 teams, Jalen Hurts, there's only 12 quarterbacks. He throws more passes than in any given year in the last 2 years because the offense and the coaches in Philly have taken that opportunity away from him. Jalen Hurts attempts the fewest passes. What does that tell you? They don't want the ball in his hands because he'll turn it over. And get this, that's not a narrative. His trends speak to it. And this is why the A.J. Brown story is true. Sills, where do you think Hurts would want to go since he has a no-trade clause? Place like Pittsburgh? Well, look at his history. He picked Bama, he picked Oklahoma, and he was drafted by the Eagles. He's going to go to an organization like Green Bay, San Francisco, the Rams, maybe the Bucks. He's not going to some place like the Jets. He goes to the Jets. That guy will be Tyrod Taylor 2.0. Because one, they don't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. Secondly, they don't have patience with quarterbacks. And they never have. So he's 18th because he can't find screen game or use the third wide receiver. And the tight end across the seam. Absolutely true. Like I said, Bob, what do you think one of the reasons why I don't think he'll ever throw for $4,000? Because he doesn't throw to a tight end. He doesn't use the number 3 wideout. And there's no screen game. And he doesn't play under center. That's why I say that guy's never thrown for 30 TDs and $4,000. Now, I'll tell you where he may is if the Eagles, get this, if the Eagles, okay, if the Philadelphia Eagles, look at this guy. He's talking about 6 years ago. 6 fucking years ago. 6 years ago. And in the last 2 years, get this, and they just fired the entire passing game and run game coordinators. All of them. And you can't see shit to see your eyesight, bro. And he's talking about something 6 fucking years ago. If that's the winning formula, Dallas would be in the Super Bowl every year. Dallas can't play defense. This moron can't read since 21 is okay. Guys. All right. 21. 5 years ago. Sure. He still sucks the last 2 years. End of story. Get this. Hurts the top 10 passing and scoring winning since 2021. Then why are they changing everything? This guy can't answer. Listen to this. Hurts a top 10 quarterback in passing and winning since 2021. That's not true in passing. He's not. It's an absolute lie. However, then why are they changing? Folks, I'm not debating those two idiots, okay, because they're knee draggers. Hurts only had 1 touchdown against the 49ers practice squad in the last 2 years. The problems that the Eagles have having, he's 19th in attempts, he's 18th in completions, and he's 18th in passing yards. That's why AJ wants out. Okay? Okay? Totally. Get this. Here. How about this one? I'll even do it. Here, let's do this. Let's go here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I will tell you flat out. The last 2 years is what the Eagle coach. How many people in here agree? The coaching staff and the Eagles are moving in a different direction this year, this offseason. Yes or no? Why? Here, I'll even go to this guy. Hey, Johnny Numbnuts, why are the Eagles going in a different direction if all these things are true you're saying? Why? Have they fired the run game coordinator, the pass game coordinator, the quarterback coach, and the OC? And the O-line coach. Why have they fired all those guys? If that success right there is what you're saying is the best then he's not 8th in passing yards. That's a fucking lie. Since 2021, he's not. Why have they changed it? Seals, what old lineman in the draft in the first round would be a best fit for this new offensive approach? I just did. Hurts since 2021 is 10th. He's not 8th. Okay? Baker Mayfield has more. Trevor Lawrence has more. Josh Allen is 4th. Herbert is 3rd. Goff is 1. Mahomes is 1st. Once again, and here, I'll make this point. Touchdown passes. Jalen Hurts is 13th. Yards per game. Jalen Hurts is 20th in yards per game in passing. He's 20th. In attempts, Jalen Hurts is 10th. In completions, Jalen Hurts is 13th. Okay? I mean, dude, I got it in front of me. Passing yards per game. Jalen Hurts is 20th. He's 20th since 2021. He's 20th in passing yards per game. I know. I think you thought I'd have a different opinion. You're the ones that get all caught. Listen, I'm going to tell you flat out. This story on Diana Rossini. Okay? You're the ones that buy all this bullshit from the organization. You guys, again, buy it from the organization. You buy it from all these reporters. That's why I'm so glad I'm a talk show host. I don't sit around pretending to protect these guys in this business because I don't give a shit. All right. So without further ado, I can't wait to hear Big Z because John was shutting down. Zander was being respectful. And I appreciate him doing that. I do, because John's got a job to do. And I'm not saying that, Zander's not going to push back, but I would have probably did the same thing too, because you know why? I don't want to get into an argument with a guy that I think when you have these, here's my problem with some of the reporters. It's not John. It's not him. But when I hear somebody tell me this and I hear on Zander's show this fucking aggravates me more than anything else. You're telling me you have a story that somebody gives you on a Wednesday and you're to hold it until next Tuesday? That's a fucking problem for me. That is a problem. That's not what I do. You know why? You're right, Z. I can't keep a secret because you know why? That's not my job to keep secrets. I work for people out here watching our show every day, not for the Eagles. That's not what I do. The day I do that is the day I'm finished. All right. Without further ado, by the way, I see super chats coming in. Again, we're going to read them all. I promise you. Please hit the like button. Battle Royale will be at 4:30 today too. Z, I hope I told you earlier that, okay, good. All right. Without further ado, let's bring in our friend, Big Z. Zander Krause joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? A lot going on today, my friend.
Oh, this stuff is made for me, man.
I know.
I love this shit, man.
I know.
All right, dude. Well, you know what? Without polluting the question, what'd you make of the whole stuff going on with Vrabel and I'll keep it there. What did you make of Vrabel and Diana Rossini when you saw those pictures from the New York Post?
Sit down and get a cup of tea, everybody. I got quite a bit of thoughts on it. Well, I've been thinking about it. I had a Zander time this morning that I kind of went off on. I think personally, I was bothered by it because I just think they're scummy people. That's beside the point. Doesn't mean anything about A.J. Brown. Doesn't mean anything really other than that. I think they're scummy people. And As far as the Eagles and A.J. Brown, though, where I think we get into the football part of it, my take that's differing from others is I actually believe this helps the Eagles.
Huh. I thought so too.
Yeah, I believe this helps the Eagles because, everybody's been talking about AJ getting traded, and there's not a lot of suitors. And you and I have talked about that as well. And, you have this reporter who has tied the Patriots to the trade more than any other reporter. I'm not saying that no other reporters are saying A.J. Brown wants out. I'm not even here to tell you that A.J. Brown, it's all fake. It's not. It's real. But the number one reporter who has tied the New England Patriots to the trade for A.J. Brown has been Diana Rossini. It's been consistent. It started back in October of last year when she was on a Patriots podcast and said to New England fans, keep your eyes on A.J. Brown. Okay? So she has been the number one person as the pariah of A.J. Brown to the Patriots. Well, now
Vrabel probably told her in conversation, I'd love to get that kid back here.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I think, how many times have you heard, the Eagles better take what they can get? Even I've said that. The Eagles better take what they can get because they're not going to get much more. Well, now if you're Howie Roseman, I'm sitting there and saying, you come to me. You want A.J. Brown, you come to me or don't come at all with what I want. Because the Eagles never wanted to trade A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the one who wants to be traded from the Eagles. We've already talked about how there's a lack of suitors for this trade. The only person who's been gassing up it to the Patriots, and this is my big problem with it from an integrity standpoint about the reporting, is the number one person who's talked about the Eagles and the Patriots is in cahoots with the head coach of the team. If that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. Again, I'm not disputing that A.J. Brown might be unhappy or might want out, but that's a serious conflict of interest to me. Now, the other part of it is I think Eagle fans have been gaslit, on this thing a little bit, and I get it's a strong word here, but AJ wants out. Patriots are calling. The trade is inevitable. June 1st, everybody, pay attention. And every time an Eagles fan said, I don't buy it, or where's this coming from, or any questions on the sourcing, we basically, me included, have said they're reliable sources. It's good. He does want out. Well, turns out the reporter who's the leader of it is on a vacation with the head coach of the team that she's reporting he wants to go to.
Well, I think that's a reliable source.
I'm not saying it's not reliable. What I'm saying is, what are that person's motives?
What do you think? What you're saying? Say it. Finish it. She wants to be first.
Yeah, but it's not only about that.
It is about that.
Mike Vrabel could be sitting there trying to use her as a way to create leverage for the Patriots.
You're talking about a New York Times. You're talking about a New York Times problem. The New York Times has to figure it out if it's a conflict of interest, Zander. They have to figure that out.
No, yeah, but even forget
if the NFL. You don't think the NFL and how? Wait, do you think Bob Lang uses WIP and all other outlets in the Philadelphia Eagle to get a narrative out?
But that's not that. Yes, they do, and I'm not denying that.
If a head coach is banging a chick and he wanted to get a narrative out, you think he'd have any kind of, especially a guy who's fucking allegedly somebody that's a reporter? You don't think a guy would have more?
Okay, that's not my point, though. My point is more that if that person is romantically engaged or hanging out in a hot tub at a hotel 2 hours away, by the way, let's just call a spade here. Yeah, it's alleged. Find me a person who drives 2 hours to go to a couple's exclusive resort hotel to hang out on a rooftop and in a hot tub.
Bro, I thought it was the NFL owners meetings thing. It wasn't.
2 hours. Yeah, let me drive 2 hours without my spouse to go hang out with a dude at a hot. Holy shit. But again,
I'm not questioning that. I think that is. You're right. I'm not saying
no, but my point about Diana is, if there is anything there where she has anything with Mike Vrabel, and Mike Vrabel wants to get A.J. Brown, you don't believe that Diana Rossini now can't be trusted with the way she refers to the A.J. Brown interest? Again, I'm not saying A.J. doesn't want out. What I'm saying is, how do we know that this is as real as it is on the Patriots?
Here's the problem, but this is a New York Times problem. The New York Times has to figure this out, because you're right. If you're banging Mike Vrabel, and this is all alleged, you're banging Mike Vrabel. She talks to Les Snead or Kevin Demoff with the Rams. All of a sudden, she puts a story out, or she starts talking to those guys going, yeah, the Patriots really didn't like the guy because they thought that he may have knee injuries. He may have some issues. And you spread that narrative around, and all of a sudden, the Rams pull out because they're concerned about a medical. Maybe she said that to drive him away. And what else, too? Drive the market down.
Right.
The less people. Now, that is an integrity issue. There's no question. But Zander, when I hear the Rams go, yeah, we tried to make a trade for him, and I hear Ian Rappaport go, they're going to trade him June 1. And I hear Adam Schefter saying, they're not fucking him. They're not fucking her too. They're those guys.
Well, who knows?
Hey, I agreed. And again, nothing would shock me. But at the end of the day here, everyone's got an agenda on something. They want to be first.
Yeah, you see, I think it's maybe she wants to be first, and maybe she wants to help her, her mistress out, or whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah, well, my job is more important than
it's like, but it's like, oh, you want to make an offer on a house, all right, and the seller won't come off the price. All right, let me call my realtor. Let me get a couple people. Let me figure out ways to create leverage so that the price comes to where I want it to come to. That's all I'm saying. Now the source who's been feeding to us, who's supposed to be a source that reports, has been proven to be compromised by the team that she is saying the Eagles and are in conversations with. It's completely against the reporting. And my perspective on it is, take anything Diana Rossini has to say and throw it the fuck out, because I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't really give a shit about it, especially when it comes to the New England Patriots. I think it's bullshit. It's crack shit.
You think everything she reports from now on's a lie?
That's not what I said.
Okay, then what are you saying?
I'm saying that she cannot be trusted with narratives, with motives, or with the brokering of information in the proper way.
Isn't that reporting?
Dude, if she's sleeping with Mike Vrabel,
I just asked,
hypothetically,
do you think she can be trusted on her reports anymore?
With the Patriots? No.
With anybody?
Well, if she has information, the information could be good, sure.
Wait.
What I think you're missing, what I'm saying is,
I am.
She can create
a way. I'm not defending her.
Or a message or a narrative that permeates, that benefits the Patriots more than it benefits the Eagles, which creates more leverage for the Patriots, i.e. the guy she's, sitting in a hot tub with, as compared to the Eagles. This isn't a report of a guy who has information on both teams and says there's conversation here. It's not that anymore. That's not what it is.
Why? I want you to dive deeper into this too. Do you know who the head of? There's 5 guys that are on the head of the National Football League's television negotiations. Do you know Bob Kraft is also on that? And that's going to be one of the biggest stories on the planet, the renegotiation of TV contracts.
I believe it. I mean, by the way,
this goes beyond just A.J. Brown here,
100%. And by the way, I mean, I see it in the chat. It's like, is there a level of tampering that can be asked here? I mean, by the NFL,
for the league,
huh?
She don't work for the league. She don't work for the Patriots.
Oh, Mike Vrabel does, my friend.
Okay, well, you're under the assumption Mike Vrabel told her something.
Well, all right, you're right. I mean, I guess they'd have to prove that.
This is why I asked you, do you believe anything she says moving forward in any report, not just a Patriots report?
My question is, what does the NFL
Because I question her gathering too now. But again, Zander, I always take these people at less than face value. Because, I mean, we had an issue here in Philadelphia three weeks ago. Reporters had a story like 5-6 days in advance, and no one told them because they told them not to. And I think reporters all have agendas. And all of them, they don't speak to their audiences anymore. There's an agenda. Her agenda happens to be an immoral agenda and how she gathers her information.
Yeah, and again, like you said, I
that's
don't
the
really
case.
care. I mean, about her
But
personal.
no, it does, because you know what? You're taking these folks at face value. See, I'm not surprised.
Right. And they're supposed to be unbiased. They're supposed to be unslanted. And that's my point.
Are you surprised they're not unbiased and unslanted?
I'm not surprised by it, no. But I mean, I'm going to have an opinion on it, and I think Diana Rossini. I mean, like you said earlier, this will be a bigger hit on her career than anything that me and you can talk about today. And that's on her. And that's something that she's going to have to live with. So that's on her. I don't really give a shit about her personally. I think she's a scumbag. I would never do business with her or Mike Vrabel for that matter. But
absolutely. Okay. But here, I mean, moving forward here, Rachel Nichols, remember her, the reporter for the NBA?
Yeah. When's the last time you heard from her?
Where's Joy Taylor?
Exactly right.
Okay. This is going to play out this way, because here's what's going to happen. Here's this, again, this is a talk show host talking, all right, Zander? Diana Rossini walks into the Philadelphia Eagles locker room, right? You got married dudes inside that locker room. You think the organization's going to allow some chick to be walking around ponying up with guys, making it even if, get this, those pictures were not a good look, even if they were innocent. Yeah. Let's just pretend. You don't want any innuendo around players. They already got enough of that shit.
I agree. And by the way, I mean, we've talked about reporters today. I get such a kick out of this because, boy, an athlete can fucking step wrong. An athlete can get a ticket for a stop sign. That's an athlete can do one thing wrong, and I get it, it's their job, and they jump on that shit. But the minute one of them goes out of bounds and tarnishes, by the way, not only the integrity of Diana Rossini, but tarnishes the integrity of every reporter who covers the National Football League, especially the women reporters, and they're all mom.
Well, no.
Not one retweet. By the way, I have all their notifications on my ex. They retweet everything. They don't. Not one retweet from one of them about Diana Rossini shacking up with Mike Vrabel in a hot tub.
What do you think is more egregious? Jeff McClain giving you the innuendo that Jalen Hurts has to be spoken through by the media, or what has been going on with Diana Rossini? That's a narrative. Diana Rossini's reporting is true. Her gathering is what's being questioned here. And again, Zander, I don't want anybody on the planet to think I'm giving that chick a hall pass. I'm not.
No, I get where you're coming from.
This is going to play out, though, for her in her career.
Yeah, it will. And again, that'll all handle itself. I mean, I do think still, in all seriousness, I think the NFL might have to step in here. I mean, think about it.
For what? And do what?
Think about it. You have the biggest NFL one of the biggest NFL reporters on the planet, and certainly the biggest at Athletic. Okay.
And I would make the argument she's probably the biggest female reporter in the NFL.
100%. I agree. And, she's reported quite a bit of things here on the New England Patriots. And now it's coming out that she's hanging out with them 2 hours away in Sedona, Arizona. I mean, if you're the NFL, you can't create a narrative. You can't have a narrative that exists where everything is basically colluded. There's nothing that's real. There's nothing. Everything is manufactured in some regard. So if you're the NFL, if you're Roger Goodell, I mean, you got to call the Athletic and say, dude, your lead reporter can't be shacking up with the head coach that she's reporting on all offseason. It's a bad look for her. It's a bad look for you. And more importantly, it's a bad look on this $1 trillion empire that we have. So either fix it or she's done.
Fix it how? Fire?
Maybe.
I'll tell you this.
If I were the president of Athletic, I'd fire her.
I'll tell you this. I had a story on the Glazers in 2011 it was around when they bought Manchester United. I said that they used hedge fund money from Indonesia because I had a friend of mine on Wall Street. They called my bosses and I was suspended for 3 days over that. Suspended for 3 days over that. Okay? Because of a narrative they didn't want out. Now, the narrative would be here is that she's getting personal intel from a league team. That's the only thing that I could see. And if Mike Vrabel, and she got Mike Vrabel in trouble, Patriots could lose a first-round pick this year.
Potentially. I don't know if that's the case
Now,
or not. You know, I think Mike Vrabel, by the way, I think Mike Vrabel's a scumbag too. I mean, what the fuck's he doing?
And listen,
You know,
for all those guys being put in a position like that in public like that, that just shows you right there. Don't ever be in a position like that unless you got a lot of folks around you.
Yeah.
But you're going to be in a position like this. So the only people that I think would be in trouble is Mike Vrabel, not Diana Rossini. Now Rossini would be with the
Athletic, obviously. Yeah, I mean the NFL.
With the Athletic, okay,
doesn't work there.
But Mike Vrabel might be in trouble with the league if he did give her intel sources.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, somebody said to me this morning, they're like, "Well, what's the NFL going to do?" Similar to what you just said, and you know, like NFL makes one call to the executive at the Athletic and says, "You don't fix this. We're revoking the press credentials of the Athletic." Guess what? That little statement they put out in support of Diana Rossini will be put through the paper shredder faster than you can blink.
Here's a story on how I got fired in Tampa. The Tampa Bay, the iHeart came out and said after I said the monkey thing, they were in full support of me. It was a mistake. Everything was this. The Bucks called the next day. I was fired.
Exactly right. So,
and they put out a statement. They put out a statement for me. Apologizes, and I did. I was like,
and by the way, I mean, look, you know, I get it. It's a weird talk show today because we got to talk about one of these. You know, it's a tough.
Well, it ties into an important piece in your future.
It does, but it is a weird thing to talk about, you know, because I saw someone say, "Oh, Zander never sins." I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to come off like that. I get it. It sounds self-righteous. I'm not that. I'm not professing to be that. Believe me, I sin more than I'd like to.
Zander, you don't have to quantify being a good dude.
No, I'm not quantifying it, but you know, I'm going to pile on, so I'm prefacing it. Diana Rossini has quite a bit of this in her past as well, which I was unaware of. Okay. There was a Commander's general manager's wife who came out publicly and said the information she was getting on the Commanders back in 2016 or 17 or 18 or one of these years was from because she was sleeping with the general manager of the Redskins at the time. Okay. Now she was also covering Vrabel through the years at the Tennessee Titans, and quite a bit of the people who are covering that had something to say about this shindig. So I'm just saying, you know, if the source is completely delegitimized, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
How do you think this affects the A.J. Brown trade?
I think the Eagles have a little more leverage. I really believe that. Because I don't think there's a team out there. First off, I've always said that I don't see a lot of suitors for this trade to begin with. You know, now you have a PR nightmare that the Patriots are going to have to deal with, you know, with this if they were to trade for A.J. Brown. So I think they're the ones who are going to have to pony up, not the Eagles. I mean, technically, if you think about it, Howie can
this might push the Patriots to push that one across the line
potentially, and Howie can just sit there on his hands because remember he doesn't want to trade A.J. Brown to begin with. You know, now he might feel like he should because of all the things that have unfolded, but you know, I'm sitting tight right now if I'm Howie Roseman. And the point you made earlier was correct. I mean, Howie's not going to make a decision for the Eagles because of a relationship between Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. That's not going to happen. But you know, the optics of it are at play. They do matter. You know, it will impact a little bit, I think, how it's seen and how it plays out. I don't know how it's going to play out yet, but you know, we will find that out.
Scott McLaughlin James did get fired for DUI, but Zander's right. That story was tied into her.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story. I just read that. It
was the guy was like falling apart. The general manager, he was falling apart down there, and then that's how Bruce Allen got in there.
Again, so the information might be good, but don't you get my point of
yes.
If the Patriots obviously want A.J. Brown, you know, they have the burden, right? Because it's like if you have what I want, I have to pry that away from you, or I have to get it's value exchange. This is simple stuff. If I have something of value, a phone, and you want to pay for it, you have to give me cash or something to get it in return. If the Patriots want the player and they want something in return, and the person who's leading the narratives that have been permeated all summer throughout the NFL about that player going to New England has been shacked up or hanging out with the coach or whatever, doing whatever, who knew, God knows what, that to me makes me wonder, all right, I mean, is that one-sided? Is that being reported to benefit the Patriots, who there's a clear interest there for Diana as compared to how it would be for the Eagles?
It's a great question.
I think that part of it to me is
this is what you're doing right here. This is a great question. This is what you're talking about right here. Look.
Yeah, there you go.
What this guy just wrote here, right? If you question her methods, you're questioning her message, correct? It's a great take, Jumbo.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You know the only reason why I buy that it's 1,000% even more validified, like John did today, verified, is because the general manager of the Rams said that there were talks about trading for A.J. Brown and that Ian Rappaport and these other guys. Dude, these other guys are not fucking banging the guy like I said.
I get that, but Howie's been open about that. Howie's like, yeah, we take calls on everybody all the time,
Yeah, but this
I'm just saying, doesn't this muddy those?
This was Les Snead saying that they did talk about trading for him.
Yes, they did. I mean, but again, Howie also admitted that, so that's not news to me at all.
Right, but it's verifying the facts that her story. There's smoke to this.
And and I'm not denying the smoke. What I'm denying
see, you got a problem with this person's character and their approach to their job to get.
I do, but that's actually not what I'm talking about here.
But okay. Well, then why
it's more about the Patriots. It's about the Patriots.
Okay, it's about the Patriots. So you're not upset with her reporting?
Well, I think she's a shit. I mean, a shit. I think what she did is really shitty.
Okay. Her reporting, the story itself on the reporting. Do you have a problem with the story?
Well, let me ask you this before I answer. Do you believe that A.J. Brown and the ties to specifically the Patriots, not the Rams, not any of these other teams, specifically the Patriots, do you believe that narrative has been distributed across the NFL ether differently than the other teams that have been mocked? You've heard about teams that AJ wants to go to. You've heard a little bit about the Rams, but the number one team that we've really heard a lot about is the Patriots. You agree with that?
I do, but I want to put context to that. Mike Vrabel never wanted him to be traded in the first place. Mike Vrabel wanted to draft him. Mike Vrabel and him had a rough but understanding relationship. There's respect between the two guys, and they've known each other his entire career. He was the guy that drafted him in the first round, along with the old GM there.
Yeah, but just because Mike Vrabel wants him,
you don't think there's more of a relationship?
No, there is. I agree. But again, that you could also take that as Diana's doing things to get Mike Vrabel what he wants. But there might not be two-sided interest there.
No one's debating that. You're debating her method of intel.
It's like any of you dudes who had a wingman back in the day. It's like chick don't want you, so you send your wingman in to try and get, hey, yeah, go and talk me up a little bit. It's like, bro, give it up. Honey doesn't want you, bro. Mike Vrabel's sending Diana in to try and soften the pot for AJ Brown to land in New England. Instead, she should just tell him it ain't happening.
Everyone's coming off the top rope on her, assuming that it dented the story somehow. It hasn't.
Well, look, A.J. Brown was unhappy before Arizona, and he's unhappy after. That part of it doesn't change. Again, the whole Patriots part to me is now muddy.
You think it's dirty now?
It's dirty. It's 100% dirty.
That's what it is.
It's unequivocally dirty.
Now here, let me add this into now A.J. Let's go to A.J. Owens now. Boy, man.
Buttercup A.J.?
This is a lot to do with him again. This is a story about him. Nobody would care in Philadelphia that Diana Rossini was banging Mike Vrabel if this wasn't about A.J. Brown, correct? You wouldn't give a shit about Diana Rossini banging someone if AJ Brown's name wasn't involved in this story.
Well, I would certainly say she tarnished her credibility. Absolutely, whether the Eagles were involved in this or not. Yeah,
but AJ Brown's involved with it, and AJ Brown's involved in this. This is an AJ Brown story too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because
aren't you tired of the noise this guy brings to your team?
I mean, look, Diana Rossini has been a pretty good reporter in terms of, she's one of the lead people around the NFL.
Top woman.
Maybe this is because I'm just in Philly, but the number one thing I've seen her being talk about and being referenced on national shows and on talk shows is the AJ Brown story.
Okay.
I mean, that's been her claim to fame for the last 6 months. I'm not saying that's all she does or that's she's not doesn't
all of this shit up and made all of this shit churn next to the fucking propellers. One guy, your star whining receiver, has made all this noise for the last 2 fucking years.
Wow.
2 years. Aren't you getting tired of it? Now you've got TMZ radio going on today. Before you had the Jalen Hurts attack coming off the top roads. Aren't you getting tired of this? You were never an organization that had noise around you like this. I've never seen it. You're louder than the Cowboys right now. And I think it's going to affect you.
Yeah, I mean, look, AJ's done his fair share of being talked about. And look, I'm not going to.
Isn't this not a distraction?
It is a distraction, and AJ's done his fair part in that. And look, I think AJ in a weird way maybe gets off on some of this stuff. Probably not the right word to use at this on a day like today, but I think he's passive aggressive. I think he likes some of this stuff. I really do. I think he likes attention. I agree. I think he loves attention, all those different things. So he's done his fair share, but the other side of it is that Diana is the other person who's really pushed this to the forefront. I mean, at least to me, she has. I mean, I've dealt with comments from people all year about, hating on Diana Rossini because she's been the one who's been permeating the stuff more. Again, I haven't once said that I don't think that there's smoke around AJ Brown. That is not my opinion even one bit. I do think there's smoke around AJ Brown. But I think the source who's poured more gasoline on that fire than anybody has potential motives that are not unbiased.
What's that motive? What's the motive?
I don't know. Maybe her buddy.
Her buddy
Mike. I don't want, it's all alleged.
They're
right?
gonna
I don't want to get hit with a lawsuit. Hey, you said this. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing.
Hey, Mike, I helped you get AJ. Now, guess what? Make sure you give me more stories on what's coming up with the NFL TV deals. Is that where we're going?
I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go from here.
You're gonna bang your way to the top.
About it, but it's it's true.
Hey, man. All right, I got another one here for you. AJ Owens is back. AJ loves this shit, man. He's got to be eating this shit up. He created all of this. He's stirring the pot. He's created every single bit of this shit, man.
AJ Brown.
Good for him. You talk about a guy who is a media whore. You talk about whores today. He's
all right. Wait, you want to play a hypothetical?
Sure.
Let's play a hypothetical real quick. What if AJ Brown gets traded to the Patriots this offseason?
Oh,
what will be the discussion? And how will this discussion we're having today relate or fill in the blanks in the conversation after the fallout of that?
I'll let you know in December.
Meaning what?
If your football team falls fucking flat on their face, they will blame everybody, including Howie Roseman, for moving that guy. Howie's equity will be hit hard.
I don't know.
If he goes 7-10 and you get rid of AJ Brown and Hurts turns into the pumpkin he is. Hey.
Well, let me ask you a general question. Some Eagle fans might get upset by it, but let's just pretend that AJ Brown and all this drama and all the reading in the books and all the crap and Diana Rossini and all this stuff doesn't exist. I mean, and it never happened. And the Eagles were in bliss and they had AJ and Devontae. And you take a look at the team. I mean, could you make an argument that trading a receiver makes sense for this team? I mean,
It
you have
does.
$50-60 million of receivers and you're an awful ranked passing game. I mean,
It
shit.
does.
Let me spend that 32 million on some more defense, on defense, on offensive line, on things that have, really catapulted our team to success. Right? I mean, isn't that a fair comment? It's like, how much worse are we going to get without AJ? Well, we already kind of stink as a passing team.
Do you think the Dallas Cowboys have gotten better as an overall roster since trading Michael Parsons?
I do, actually, yeah.
Do you think the same thing could be said if you traded A.J. Brown, that by this time next year you could be a better roster? Because of what you just said, filling in the gaps.
I don't think. Well, I'm of the belief, and I've been of this belief.
Well, you just told me the guy's lost 17 steps. He's no longer the same.
I don't believe they're getting that. Michael Parsons landed 2 first-round picks, dude, and Kenny Clark.
I'm talking about moving talent off a team.
Yeah, but you're also talking about getting back assets to recoup that talent. I don't know if that's there. I'm more looking at the money. Maybe the money helps. Yeah.
You don't think another first-round draft pick would help?
You think you're going to get a first-round draft pick?
I think after you find out that Rossini's banging the head coach, I think you may be in room to get that. Hey, just to make it go away. If I were Howie, you know what I would do? I would call the league and go like this. Hey, what's going on up there in New England? And maybe what you do is you make those guys give that one up there.
So, has Diana Rossini put out any comment today at all about this?
They said it's absolutely innocent and it's totally.
Yeah, they put that out on back channels. I'm talking about has she published or posted anything or been on The Athletic or any she does, I think, a video podcast. Any of those things, have any of them come up?
No. Best thing she's being told right now is keep quiet. Don't say nothing. You've already said it. You gotta let the fire dim a little bit. Then you throw a little bit more water on it.
Yeah, right.
As long as Big Sills is around, that ain't going down. I promise you.
That fire ain't dimming, honey.
Hey, my favorite comment though that I heard you know what my favorite comment was out of Birds 365 today? Would you like to know what my favorite comment was out of Birds 365?
I was going off on Zander time. I'm not sure. You probably didn't catch that because you were on your show.
You know what my favorite line was? I heard a reputable reporter say, only way you can contact His Highness Jalen Hurts is through the fucking media.
Yeah, bad
look.
look.
The only way you can talk to that guy is you can't go up to him and you can't, and this is, I'm adding the Big Sill sugar in this, but you can't talk to him directly. You got to kind of go around the media and you got to talk to him through Jeff McClain. Who the fuck is this guy? I mean,
yeah, that's a really bad look, dude. That's a really bad look. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, is that, and you know what else that sheds light on? I mean, unfortunately for the Jalen Hurts fans in the chat, I mean, if that's true, the only way to get Jalen Hurts to listen is to damage the PR machine. I mean, think about that.
John's right. That relationship's not worth saving.
I knew you were going to love that comment.
Oh, I did. That was just so right on. Hey.
I knew you were going to love that comment.
That relationship is so not worth saving. It's just not. That you have to put out a smoke signal for Jalen, like a bat signal. Jalen, follow along. We can't talk to you man to man, so we got to talk to you like Sis. Hey, Jalen. So the head coach doesn't have a sack to walk up to his player and look his player in the face. Hell, you got more balls than Nick Sirianni, Zander. I mean, dude, nobody talks to me like you talk. Dude, that's not happening. But I respect you, and I like.
Well, we have a different relationship. Don't talk to me like I'm.
Yeah, because you know why? It's real.
Yeah,
and you know what? Theirs isn't. You know how you bullshit people? You know why you can bullshit other people? Their relationship with them's not real. It's phony. It's not genuine.
Well, even if that thing's not true, just the Eagles believing that it's necessary, I think is a huge indictment.
It's totally a massive indictment on the head coach and the quarterback. Dude, that's your player. Talk that player and go, I'm sitting your ass down, and I want to have a conversation with you. Send smoke signals out. What are you, crazy? Come on, man. Let me put this out here, too, to you, sweetness. I got one here for you, too. It's a beauty right here. So how about this little nugget? You agree that the offensive coaches are changing a lot up, potentially, with this offense with their new hires, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
Okay. So, here we go. Last 2 years. Here's where your passing game is. Jalen Hurts is 19th in passing in the last 2 years. His attempts. Jalen Hurts is 19th. This is since Saquon Barkley got here. Completions. Jalen Hurts is 18th. Touchdown passes. Jalen Hurts is 15th. And the last 2 years, your passing attack has been 29th and 23rd. That's why A.J. Brown wants out. Those are horrible numbers, dude.
They're bad numbers.
And by the way, that's 30 ball games.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this isn't news to me.
This is now, you agree. This is why they've made all these moves. They've made all these moves because the last 2 years, the quarterback's not getting better.
It's interesting. Did you hear the Spike Eskin? He called it a conspiracy theory.
Let me hear
it. Spike Eskin on WIP said he has a Jalen Hurts conspiracy theory. And I want to be clear, he called it a conspiracy theory. So don't go attacking Spike saying he was saying this is true. Conspiracy is that's what it is, whatever.
He's a talk show host.
He put this out there and said that his conspiracy is that Howie Roseman is actually the leader in the Jalen Hurts stories because he needs to prove to the owner that this guy's a headache. And the owner loves Jalen Hurts so much that in order to stop him from giving him another contract and further hamstringing Howie Roseman, who, by the way, has gone to multiple Super Bowls with rookie quarterbacks. Now, I know you went to the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts on his second deal on his contract, but they did have great success with Wentz on a rookie deal. They turned the team around completely when Jalen Hurts was on a rookie deal. Now, if you're going to lock into Jalen again at $60 million, that's going to significantly hinder what Howie Roseman could do as a general manager. And obviously, we've all heard the way the owner talks about Jalen Hurts. He's very fond of him. That was his conspiracy. That was paraphrased. Spike did it in a nice long, phrase, 3 minutes long or whatever it was. So, but that's what he said.
Okay.
Conspiracy.
Okay. Do you think what he said, could you have applied that to the exit of Carson Wentz and how Carson Wentz was exited out of Philadelphia when they didn't have a lot of great players in that 2020 season? They had a lot of injuries. There was battling between the coach and what direction to go with Carson Wentz, wasn't there?
Maybe.
Between Doug and Howie, wasn't there a direction issue with those two guys on how they were going to handle Carson Wentz moving forward? Wasn't there? I could have swore that was a narrative in that conversation and how they were going to coach the kid moving forward and whether or not they were going to go to Hurts or not, whatever it was. Howie started, let me tell you this. Here's Spike's point. Do you think that Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Hurts to put pressure on Carson Wentz when he saw Carson Wentz after the Seattle game?
Do I think he what?
Okay, follow me here. So the Seattle playoff game.
Yeah, I was there.
There was a conversation.
I was at that game.
When Clowney hit him, wasn't there a conversation about, supposedly there was a story behind the scenes about Wentz not wanting to go back in and how he wanted him to go back in the game?
Yeah, there was a story about that. Yes.
Didn't they draft Hurts the next year?
Was that the next year? No. That
You're
Seattle
after?
playoff game was – no, it might have been that year. When was that Seattle playoff game? 19?
I thought it was 19.
Yeah, they drafted him next year. They drafted him that offseason.
Okay. They drafted him that offseason. So do you think Howie drafted a quarterback in the second round, which raised everyone's eyebrows?
Who's fucking going to draft in the second round? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. They'll draft a quarterback. I'm saying Howie has done things before to put pressure on starting quarterbacks.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
By getting Jalen, he put pressure on Wentz. Did he not? Because obviously Wentz felt it.
What do you think they would do there to put pressure on him?
I'm going to Spike's thing here on his.
So you're saying that they're doing this to put more pressure on her?
The stories that you're saying, the narratives, the changing of the coaching staffs, doesn't it seem that they're doing this? They're doing all these changes without Jalen's input.
Maybe, and maybe that's why Jalen was so glowingly, praised, on Mannion when he got asked that wherever he was this summer.
Does it look like they've had any intel with Jalen or any? Does Jalen look like? Because I can't think Jalen is happy with what the changes are. They do nothing to help him. He's not a Sean McVay quarterback.
Is it that they do nothing to help him, or is it that his skill set is getting harder to win with right now?
And that's why Howie is putting, to Spike's point, putting the pressure on him this year to see if he can elevate his game.
Yeah, I mean, here's a comment here. Like, what about Hurts makes you believe he doesn't want to be a better QB? I don't believe that at all. I don't
think anybody's ever said that.
Yeah, I mean, Mello, I can say to you, hey, work really hard every day to try and become an NBA player, bro. You could work till you're blue in the face. It's not going to happen.
But what have they done to help Jalen elevate his game? Just put great players around him? That's not developing players. Like, do you agree, Zander? The developing of skilled players in Philadelphia on offense compared to developing players on defense in Philadelphia is completely different.
Yeah.
When you drafted Devontae Smith was like, you know what he was? He was like an apartment fully furnished. You didn't realize all you had to do was throw your keys on the counter. Route running, hands, toughness. That guy had the furniture in the apartment, no lifting. You walked in, dinner was on the table. You move in that night. That's that kind of player. Nolan Smith is a developmental guy. Jalix Hunt's a developmental guy. Look at the offensive players. There's no developmental guy. You haven't had Tyler Steen. You developed him because of Stoutland. By the way, I will make a comment to you. I guarantee you Tyler Steen's play will suffer this year without Jeff Stoutland being the offensive line coach.
I agree with that. I think they'll all suffer a little bit.
You watch. So do I believe Spike? I would have a hard time that Howie's a self-sabotager. That means that Howie's trying to sabotage things, and I don't.
Well, I think Howie has a good understanding of roster building and understands the complexity and challenges of building a roster when you have, $60 million tied up on receivers, another 55 on a quarterback, and 100 on an offensive line that's underperforming.
Do you think Howie Roseman thinks he can win the Super Bowl every year?
No. Hell no.
Okay.
No.
That's great to hear you say that.
No, yeah. I mean, and look, this is where you might be on to something here, where Howie is more focused on the next opportunity to capitalize than he is right now. Now, that might be very hard for some people to think about or to come to grips with. And I'm not saying it's definitely true, but at the very least, it has to be a thought process.
Would you rather build for the future or the present?
I'd rather build for the present, but I understand where Howie's coming from. If Howie believes that
But
the
your future becomes your present.
right, but this is the dilemma. The dilemma is if you get to where think about it. Think about the Eagles' current roster construction. It doesn't get much better than this when you pay quarterbacks. And what I mean is you won't find another team that drafted 5-6 starters on defense on rookie deals that were so good, that they were literally all pro players on rookie contracts. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Jordan Davis, Jalen, and Nolan, so all these guys, Jahad Campbell, Zach Vaughn. You couple that with paying the amount of people on offense that they paid, which is unconventional compared to the league. Obviously, it's the most expensive offense, and they still weren't good enough. They still weren't good enough to get the job done. They still struggled immensely. So if you're Howie, you're looking at it like, dude, I can't build the team much better than we did. We hit on every draft pick, and we paid a bunch of top-tier players on offense. And it's still not good enough. If I don't change the way we're building it, it's not going to work again.
Okay.
I think that's where Howie's head might be. I don't know that for sure.
You have a roster for the future right now. Do you?
I don't think the window has shut just yet, no.
So you have, my opinion, you have two players that I would go forward with building my future with on offense. Only two. Not counting the quarterback. Well, I'm taking the quarterback out of it for a second. There's only two players on that offense I'm moving forward with. Devontae Smith and Mulata. The rest of those guys have all question marks on them, and they're older players now. They're banged-up players. You got two players on offense, Zander. How's that a future?
Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, there was two players on defense. Now there's too many to count and too many that have left to count.
Wait a minute. That's a good point. Carter, Davis, Q, and DeJean. Who else is your future over there?
I'm saying, think about the guys that have left. I mean, there's 8
yeah.
guys that have left too.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of my point. Howie's looking at all those departures and is saying, boy, even if we made the right decisions, it ultimately cost us.
Yes.
Even if we made the right, just think about that. We made the right decisions and it didn't work.
Right.
If we don't change something about the
front, look at the front seven and what you've done in the last.
Well, you know what it comes down to, dude?
2 years.
Again, it comes down to what I've said all offseason. Guys, Eagle fans, Jalen Knights, Jalen Truthers, I love you. These guys got to play better. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, all these guys on. If this team wants a chance to win in 2026 and win big, the offense has to deliver. If they don't, the team will be blown up in 12 months.
Think of this. Okay, I agree. Well, check this out. And so, not to go back here with some of the people, what they're saying today, but people are talking about 2021, 22, 23. Bro, the Eagles aren't talking about that as an organization anymore. They're talking about the last 30 ball games. This is why all these changes have been made. You're not, you know what? It's almost like some people are refusing to believe what they're doing, Zander. They fired the pass game coordinator. They fired the run game coordinator. They got a brand new O-line coach. They got a brand new OC that does completely everything different than what they've ever done here. And people aren't buying into that. I don't get it.
Well, maybe, but
Sean Mannion has no experience in RPOs. Nothing. He has no experience in anything.
So what are you saying? You think they're building it for the next person?
I think they're building it for Nick Sirianni's vision of what a passing offense looks like. I think that, in my opinion, now here's an opinion here. I think the owner went to him and said this: we're going to build a passing offense. If Hurts is a QB, he's a QB. If he's not, so be it. We can win with Sam Darnold.
Well, maybe.
Dude, Sam Darnold has proven to you flat out. And by the way, Hurts' numbers as a passer are pedestrian at best when you have a run game. When you have a run game and you're looking for balance, when they were running the RPO and he was running the RPO, he was an effective guy. When he stops running and he has to win from the pocket, he's below average. And the last 2 years proved that, right? His last 2 years have been the least amount of running of the RPOs and running. That's been exactly what he's done the last 2 years. Like I said, he's down in the 20s in attempts, completions, yards, touchdown passes. They're 29th and 23rd in the last 2 years since Saquon Barkley showed up, and they won the Super Bowl. Dude, that 2022 season, that's the best he will ever be.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to – that can't be true if he wants a future in Philly.
I don't think he does have a future in Philly. I think they're building the football team. I think Nick is building that offense for somebody like a Phillip Rivers style of quarterback. Dude, let me ask you this. What do you think a quarterback like Mac Jones would do in a system like that with Nick?
I don't know. We've never seen the Nick offense in Philly without Jalen, who requires a different style of offense completely. You know, it's not like it's typical switch where you see like, you know, a passing going to a passer going to a different passer, right? But it's not like that. They've had to change for Jalen Hurts' style of offense. So I don't know what it would look like, honestly. Would Nick be good? Would you think he was a good coach if he had a passer?
Yeah.
Well, he worked pretty good with Phillip Rivers.
Oh, it was exceptional. Best years of his career were with Nick. He threw for like 40. He threw for like 4,800 yards when he was the quarterback and passing game coordinator with Frank. I was there. I was in San Diego covering the team every single day, and I was out there at the Charger complex on Murphy Canyon Road. And Phillip Rivers used to say, passing game has never been better. And Nick was the passing game guy. That's his style of play. Hey, let's get to these supers, dude.
Yeah, let's do it. Interesting day of content, my friend.
TMZ, baby. It's like the Philadelphia Cowboys right now.
Mike Ping says, I heard it's Nick Sirianni sabotaging Hurts for getting his best friend Patullo fired. Hurts holds resentment for Nick getting Brian Johnson fired. I don't think Nick got Brian Johnson fired.
I think you guys are way over.
Wait. Hurts holds resentment for that? Shouldn't Hurts hold resentment toward himself then? He had like 30 turnovers that year.
That's right. That's right.
Brian Johnson wait a second. Brian Johnson had the best offense of any of these coordinators.
He did.
And you can laugh, you can say I'm wrong. I'm not.
I agree.
Brian Johnson had a better Eagles offense than Kellen Moore did.
Yeah. Minus the turnovers.
Brian Verts Pumper.
Woo!
Hey, fellas, I don't believe Diana receives her AJ info from Braves. She can relate to AJ because they're both all-pro wide receiver. Come on.
Oh, man.
Come on, Pump.
Come
You
on,
gotta be kidding me, Pump.
Come on, Pump.
Here's Mike Ping again. If true, he really is Russell Wilson 2.0.
I think you're thinking in his attitude.
Here's Kyle Kokorski. Sills and Zander, is the show going to be shorter on draft night? Bring Proctor to Philly. Fuck you mean the show's going to be shorter?
Why would they be shorter?
Prince says, Sills and Zander are preaching today. Holy shit. They for the streets people. Sensational.
Hey, like I said, man, you guys are the ones that are shocked. I'm not shocked that she's being accused of banging someone. I heard that shit in Washington. Hey, dude, some of these people do whatever.
Here's Marshall. She can't be trusted. This is a married woman, Sills, cheating on her husband. You're not this slow. No, he's not. He's just, you remember, Marsh, we're on air here, man. We can't say anything to have lawyers come knocking on the doors and shit. Marshall says, I don't care how much you yell, Sills. Us Eagles fans ain't going to let no rod-hopping chick push non-popular takes on our squad, and we not fight back. God bless whoever took those photos.
So wait a minute. So what
Big
about
Dom took the photos, folks.
Hey, Marsh. So like the Rappaport and Adam Schefter stories are wrong too then, right? Bro, you're doing everything in your power to make the chick into a hooker. She may be, allegedly. But at the end of the day, dude, her story's not false. It's just not false.
Well, we will see. We will see. Here we got one more, I think. Oh, we got a couple more.
Yeah.
This is Hurts last year. Why isn't my mouse working now? This is Hurts last year. We'll see.
That's what Howard Eskin said, too.
Ramir says Nick was hired for Wentz, not Hurts. That's the problem. Correct. Nick was hired for Wentz.
Yes.
Nick was hired for Wentz.
You think this is Jalen's last year?
Do I?
Yeah.
I think it's a 50-50 chance, dude.
Wow. If I asked you that question at the end of the year, there's no way in hell you just would have went and said 50-50. You'd have said
but I have
70,
new. I
30,
mean, we have new information. You know, people always say you can't change your take. Well, you know, when you get new information.
Oh no, you can. Yeah, yes. These people are stupid.
Cody says just got off work. What's going on? I'll tell you. You ready for what's going on? Diana Rossini's getting her buns clapped for information on AJ Brown. Potentially, allegedly, she's dancing in hot tubs with Mike Vrabel. All right. And we are all wondering now how much to question the credibility of her and her reporting in Eagle Land.
So when Jerry Jones is in the stalls there in Arlington, and he's in the stalls there talking to somebody going, "How you doing, honey?" You ever see that picture of Jerry in the stalls talking to that chick sitting on his lap in the toilet? Jerry's a goat, dude. He's the GOAT.
Here's Jay the Legend. I think Jalen Hurts going to prove y'all wrong with a top 15 off. Jay, wait, you say that like I don't want that to happen.
Wait a minute. He's going to prove you all wrong with a top 15 offense. Holy shit. Hey, make sure you're in the middle of the room.
All right, here we go. 2 hours. I'll never drive 2 hours for buns.
Hey,
Leon, man, what's wrong with these people?
All right, Leon, well, get this. That means Joy's out, man. Sorry. If you won't drive 2 hours to see Joy in that Prius of yours, you got no shot in hell.
I think Leon's point is he maybe has other options.
Oh, okay. All right, Leon. I got you there.
All right, Sills. Dude, get me out of here. I can't talk about Diane anymore.
Holy shit. So wait a minute. Before I get you out, I want to do this last thing here before Philly 500.
Okay. I want to hear what he has to say about this, and Mark for that matter.
Hold on. Get this. Last 2 years of passing, Jalen Hurts is 18th in yards, 15th in TD passes, 19th in attempts, 18th in completions, and the offensive passing attack is 29th and 23rd in the last 2 years. And this is why they've made all the changes, and AJ wants out. And this is why this story with Diana Rossini kind of matters in a way, because it's going to dictate what they're going to do moving forward. How you doing, baby?
Look at 500. Leon would drive 15. Yeah, Philly, I was going to call bullshit on that too, dude. Leon was in here simping for $2 super chats not that long ago. Leon, I didn't forget. What, you think I forgot, Leon? I always tell you guys, I remember all that goes on in the chat. I remember all that goes on.
Hey, Zander, I think Leon would get a dog slap and go from Nome all the way to Boston to try to get some cooch.
Wait, real quick. Also, one other pushback before I leave today. You know, we just got a super chat. And Jay, I've had you on the show. I know you, Jay the Legend. Jay, up your standards. I mean, I'll show you guys. We'll have a middle of the pack offense. Is that where we're settling now, Jay the Legend?
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, let me strive for a middle of the packer. Come on, man. It's the most expensive offense in the history of football.
And I'm looking for us to be 15th. There's 32 teams, dude.
I'm looking for you to get a D. What?
Yeah, I'll take the ugly chick over there.
That's a 50. Left. You want a 50 on offense?
Hey, Jay's going like this. I'll take the ugly chick for 30. Thank you.
All right, get me out of here, bro.
No, hey, I love you, Z. I'll talk to you tomorrow, dude. I got you.
All right, dude. Later. Thank you, Sills.
All right, man. Yes, sir. You know what's funny is that Diana Rossini's reporting is not wrong. It's not wrong. you're attacking her method, and rightfully so. But I mean, at the end of the day, get this too. You know what her inside source is? The guy she's banging, allegedly. Oh, gee, well, it's not like she's banging Sig in here, or she's in there banging to M. Reyes, or even Mark Holmes. Without further ado, I'll tell you, man, the Cowboys have been so quiet, like a church mouse. And the Eagles are just so loud right now. Could the Cowboys win 13 ball games this year and the Eagles win 5? Without further ado, we bring in Mr. Content for the Dallas Cowboys, our friend Mark Holmes, one of the great content creators, and of course, the legend himself. Philly 500 joins us now.
Why do you encourage that bullshit? You're trying to give this guy hope. He's going to make 8 videos today now saying that the Cowboys, that experts are saying, former players, the Cowboys could win 13 games. Don't feed him. Don't give him false hope.
Oh, Lordy.
Don't do that to him. Look at him. He's all happy. Look, he's got a picture of Christian Parker. He's got a shirt of Chris. The guy hasn't called one fucking down.
I'm the
He
captain.
hasn't had one down, and you got a shirt of him. Come
Wait a
on,
minute.
dude. Let him call play first.
Look at me.
My
I'm the
God.
captain now. I want a picture of that, and I'm going to post. I want you to take a picture of that for me, and I'm going to post it on my Twitter page.
Okay.
The guy hasn't called
the
one
captain
play.
now.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, guess what? I'm going to start with you, Mark.
With me?
What do you make with this Diana Rossini and this AJ Owens / AJ Brown / Mike Vrabel story? What do you make of all this?
You know what? It's kind of like the spy who loved me. You know, you got to do what you got to do to get the information. And, you know, apparently it was great this morning when I woke up and Lord Brunson had put up a video about it. And he was going off. You know, he was saying, you know, that Diane Rossini in the red bikini and everything else. I can't be mad at her for getting the story. You know what I mean?
Listen. I think what happened is that people are shocked that remember Rachel Nichols with the NBA?
Yeah.
Where's she now? Look at Joy Taylor. Where's Joy now? All of these things, it'll take care of itself. The problem is, Philly, the story and everybody was confirmed by the Rams when the Rams said that they were trying to trade for A.J. Brown and that Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Daniel Jeremiah, all these guys have all said that they believe that he's going to be traded come June 1. So how does Diana Rossini's extra alleged marital affairs play a factor in a story with A.J. Brown? That's true.
Well, I think I don't think it necessarily plays a factor in that the story isn't true that the Eagles have shopped them. I think what people, you know, take exception to and you, I'm sorry, it has to cross your mind. Like some of the stuff early on from during the year that was pushed that almost sounded like she was pushing it. You can't help but wonder if she's putting out stuff to help her man out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's 2 ways to look at it. You could look at it like that, or you could look at it like she knows exactly what she's talking about even more because look who her source probably is. But I think it's the way that she put out all the stories, you know, the AJ Brown, it's like every week an AJ Brown story that was almost seemed like it was meant to cause problems within the Eagles locker room.
I don't think you're wrong.
People think, and people not trusting the media in general are going to think, well, is she doing that on purpose because it helps out her boy? I think that's what the issue is.
Everybody uses the media that way. I mean, if you are, you know, a Dallas Cowboys beat writer, you know, there's certain things that you better not say. And Jerry Jones uses you to help do negotiations and everything else.
I get it. But now now we know that she might have had a little more motivation to do it. And that's the issue.
To Philly's point, and again, here was my take today. I don't give a shit who she's banging. I really don't care because I don't trust them anyway. I'm with you. And to me, I'm not a journalist. You and I are broadcasters. We're all broadcasters now in some form now, streaming, radio, TV. We're broadcasters now. So I'm not a journalist, dude. I'm not. I have an opinion. Okay? If you're a journalist, you're not supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to give fair and balanced coverage. That's journalism 101. Okay? Now, if you want to be an op-ed guy, that's a different form of journalism.
Totally.
Give your total opinion on it. That's op-ed.
I agree.
Again, now, follow me here, though. Here's where Philly's right. The market for A.J. Brown has seemed to dry up. Now, if you're hearing that the Rams were close to potentially, let's just say that story had 15% truth to it. They had some interest in moving Devontae Adams, and they were talking about going and getting A.J. Brown. I didn't know Diana doesn't talk to Les Snead or Kevin Demoff in the front office of the Rams and goes, hey, you know what they were talking about in New England? They were talking about a guy having a little issue with his knee last year and a year before. And get this, I think the Patriots are a little bit cold on that deal now. Oh, all of a sudden the next day, the Rams are completely out of that. Can you influence a market by stories you post and by stories when you go on podcasts? Can a person like Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, how about this, Mark? Follow me. Do you believe that a guy like Adam Schefter on draft night or a guy, what's his name, Mel Kiper, do you think that they influence a draft with narrative?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But when you think about Bet ESPN, the fact that you've got them trying to, tell you which team's doing well, where they're actually, it's a conflicted thing. This goes along everywhere. But see, I think you guys are dealing with the wrong part here. You're dealing with the messenger as opposed to the message. The real question is what's going on with A.J. Brown? It doesn't matter if it was Diane Rossini sleeping with him. You got to deal with A.J. Brown one way or the other. There's confirmation out there of the same story from other places. You're mad at Diane Rossini because she's getting a little bit and getting a little extra information.
No. I don't think anybody's denying that there has been trade talks with A.J. Brown involving A.J. Brown. I think everybody is aware of that. I think everybody has accepted the fact that at some point he requested a trade, and that if it's right, he'll, for the Eagles in terms of compensation, they'll do it. I think that's been accepted, but I'm sorry. I listened to her tweet. I've read her stuff since the middle of the season when this was going down. And you know how many times, like I said, and people said, boy, it sure seems like she's pushing a narrative one way. It felt like that by the way she would say certain things. It just felt like that.
AJ was fueling that because the pictures of the Patriots being at Gillette, his love affair that he has for Brady and the Patriots.
I agree. But still, when you feel like her specific tweets and things she posted specifically felt like it was pushing one way, then to see those pictures come out, you can't help but think, damn, what's her motivation here? But I don't think that means that all the A.J. Brown trade talk is fake and was never real. It could actually be more real in a lot of ways because she actually has real connection, close connection. We don't know, but her stuff specifically has always felt like she was pushing the narrative to get him out of there, to bring down Hurts, to make and bring up a divided line that caused some problems within a lot. That's what it always felt like with her stuff before any of this, and I think that's what people are reacting to now.
I want to ask you a question, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Dallas Cowboys are in a better place in their locker room not having all the Micah Parsons drama?
Oh, without a doubt. The fact that, the drama that we have, of course, right now is really made more by the media than anybody else, which is whether or not we sign George Pickens. And George Pickens right now is already working out with Dak Prescott and, and the rest of the offensive guys here. There doesn't seem to be a problem with George Pickens. And I believe that the Cowboys will end up getting him a deal. There does not seem to be any dynamic or anything other than from the media that there's problems in Dallas.
Okay, well, then that goes to this one here. Aren't you sick and tired of all the drama with AJ? I mean, this is AJ shit, theoretically. Because, hey, Philly, would you give a shit if Diana Rossini was banging an NFL head coach in another market?
No.
If it had ties to AJ Brown?
I don't care that she's doing it now.
Right.
I mean, I know her husband. I know her husband does.
Yeah, but okay, but again, I don't care about that either because that's for those folks to worry about. For me, I'm asking you this: aren't you sick and tired of this guy having and creating Terrell Owens type drama in your locker room? It's one thing after another.
I am sick of the whole AJ Brown story and all the stuff that has come out. But I swear to you, and I really believe this, I don't know how much of it is specifically AJ Brown doing it and how much it is of the media just keeps going and going. I don't hear AJ Brown saying stuff. I don't see him doing push-ups and sit-ups in his driveway. I'm not saying he's happy, but I don't know if he's as I don't know if I believe he's as big of a cancer as it's made to seem.
What's your take on that, Mark?
Maybe he's not doing push-ups and things in his driveway and things, but it's definitely a distraction for the team.
Yeah.
Between that and the whole Jalen Hurts message that's kind of going around.
Stop there. I want to ask you first now that question, you brought it there. I'm going to ask you this right now. Jeff McClain just came out with a story that said this. And again, here's a guy that covers the team. He said that Jalen Hurts cannot be spoken, I'm paraphrasing, cannot be spoken to but through the media because nobody can have basically a face-to-face with the guy. Now, if you have a relationship like that with your starting quarterback, that's not a relationship I want to have with somebody that runs my football team. I have no interest in that. Now get this. If that was one thing said about him, Mark, we're now hearing the last 3 weeks, doesn't want to be coached, doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to do any of that. Hey, by the way, those people, the difference, Philly laughs, but you know what? Those folks have to go into work tomorrow with their key fob, and they have to answer if those things are lies. First to you, and I want to hear Philly on this.
What part? The Jeff McClain part or the AJ part? Look, there is obviously things that the Eagles want Hurts to do better and take on, I'm sure. Okay. But, like he's unapproachable. He's untalkable. I can't go back. I just can't help but go back into history. I heard the same thing about Randall Cunningham. I heard the same thing about Donovan McNabb. Heard the same thing about Michael Vick. Heard the same thing about Carson Wentz. So it seems like every time there's an issue, maybe within the organization, or they want something from the quarterback, they have this. It's almost like the same story comes out to send a message to the quarterback.
Isn't that interesting?
It's
you
fine.
Would point that out. Isn't that interesting that he would point that out? That all the quarterbacks that they've ever had conversations with and dealt with, that's how they pretty much have ended all their tenures in Philadelphia. Maybe it's an institutional and organizational thing because if I'm not mistaken, I mean, they questioned Carson Wentz after the Seattle game when he didn't want to go back in after the concussion. What did they do the next year? Mark, you know what they did? They drafted Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much of a problem is the quarterback to you, Mark? I mean, Mark, and listen, I gave you those numbers. I think the last 2 years tells you a lot of why they're upset. They've been ranked 29th and 23rd. And by the way, and I agree with Philly in this, get this. If winning was so important, why are they concerned? You're 29th and 23rd. Here, get this. Jalen in passing yards the last 2 years is 18th. He's 15th in TDs. He's 19th in attempts. That's at the bottom of the league. And he's 18th in completions. This is the last 2 years. This is a 30-game sample size. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
Well, here's my take on it. If you remember, Russell Wilson in Seattle kind of wore out his welcome. He was a diva. When he went to Denver, he had to have his office up on the main floor and everything else, and wasn't approachable. His teammates said, you can't call him. It sounds very similar here on this. Now, the point that you guys are seeming to miss is the Eagles organization has a system. They have a great system, and they build a great team where it's not the quarterback centric. The fact that you can look at Nick Foles, who was 29-29.
It's roster centric,
right? You look at Nick Foles and say it was because of Nick Foles that we won the Super Bowl? He replaced Carson Wentz. It's a system there in Philly, and they're looking and saying, we've replaced Doug Peterson. We've replaced, Donovan McNabb, because you look at that and say maybe Donovan McNabb had been a little bit better of a quarterback. We would have won one before. And they're probably looking and saying, Jalen Hurts, he's not that great. We have a great team and organization. We can move on with him, start over, and reduce that money that's there.
Philly, do you think your Philadelphia Eagles are star-driven by a quarterback or star-driven by the roster itself? I could make the argument that Hurts during your Super Bowl runs was never the best. He probably was the 5th or 6th best player in your huddle.
No, I think
I'll take that back. The 22 year, he was the best player in that offensive huddle.
I think that they look to build a all around roster. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's the mistake a lot of teams make, because I think there's probably only 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league that can really get away with that with. And the Eagles know that. So I don't look at that as like a negative to Jalen Hurts, because I think most teams need to do that, even with star quarterbacks.
Mark, what's the strength right now you see on Dallas Cowboys?
Well, their offense, of course. I mean, the fact that they're bringing back everybody, you're going to look at somebody like Tyler Booker, who should be taking a leap his second year. Hopefully Guyton can get together, but then again, we got Big Nate who's coming back from an injury. So I look at our offensive line getting together and having continuity and guys already working out without any major injuries on our offense.
For you, Philly, what do you think the Eagles' strength is?
On their team right now, I think the defensive side of the ball would be their strength.
Is there a particular area on that defensive linebackers?
I think the interior of the defense is. Okay. I like the interior defensive line.
The heart of the defense.
I like the middle defense.
The middle of the defense.
I do. Yeah, and I like their top 2 corners. I think they're really, really good.
Mark, what's the weakness on the Eagles or on the Cowboys right now?
Linebackers for sure, and secondary.
You think they'll try to get Styles?
We'll see. I still think that there might be a chance that they get Jaden Brooks for Miami. Now you got Troy Aikman, who's there as a consultant and stuff. So maybe you have an avenue in there. They have made calls with him. Al-Shazier, they just traded for another linebacker from New England. It's possible that they could decide, a cap move and trade him as well.
Hey, Philly, you find this wild about the Cowboys? So wait a minute. I don't even know what the defining role with Troy Aikman is with the Miami Dolphins. All I know is he was there to supposedly help hire the head coach. And now all of a sudden he's going to be in the war room on draft night, I heard.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So you got one of the greatest, if not the greatest winner in the history of the Dallas Cowboys at quarterback, Troy Aikman, helping the Miami Dolphins on draft night. And the Dallas Cowboys have never asked the winningest quarterback in the history of the franchise for his input. Why is that?
Oh, yes. I'm sure Jerry Jones doesn't care. Are you asking me or are you asking Mark?
Oh, I like that because here's my take, Mark.
Jerry Jones does his own thing.
Wait, you know what? You know what I think? I think that, guess what? That Troy Aikman wasn't a Jerry Jones guy. I think that Tony Romo and I think the guy, Dak Prescott, these are Jerry Jones guys. Remember something about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a Gil Brandt guy and a Tom Landry guy. He wasn't even a Jimmy guy. And I think that's a wild relationship between Troy and the owner.
You may have a point there, but you got to understand they're a mom and pop shop. Jerry Jones wants to have complete control over everything and thinks he's smarter than everybody else and knows how to do it better than everybody else.
That's how you lose, man.
Well,
Hey,
that's
you know
what
what?
we've been doing for 30 years.
Bro, I know I'm not smart. I'm going to hire people where my deficiencies are. Adding, subtracting, reading, all of that shit that I'm not good at. I'm going to bring people in to do it for me because I know I'm not good enough. So again, I don't get how the ego. You know what? Jerry Jones has stopped the Dallas Cowboys from winning 10 Super Bowls.
You got that right.
Look at Philly. He
wants them to live forever. I know.
I think the way
I love Jerry Jones. I think
I
he's an
think the
icon.
way that the Eagles do business too. I think they've cut themselves off of 5 Super Bowls.
Well, I think you're right about that. I don't disagree. I think you're definitely right. There's no question.
Do you think if you had to pick between Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, who would you pick if you had to have one of those 3 guys for you to start your franchise?
Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is the reason why we went to 2 Super Bowls. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't the coaching. It was,
and I'll turn this around on
the,
Mark. Let me turn this around on Mark.
Jim.
Mark, if you had to pick Tom Landry, Jerry Jones, or Jimmy Johnson, what are you picking?
Jimmy Johnson.
Okay. Right. These are easy when you just apply who the better guy is, whether he's the coach, the general manager. These other guys, this is about ego here a little bit. So let me ask this one here to Philly here. Philly, do you not agree the A.J. Brown situation could also affect a little bit on how you draft? And follow me here. The Cowboys waited until the very end on CeeDee Lamb, and I think it fucked up their entire offseason last year. Same thing with that Dak contract. They went too damn long. Same thing with Micah. Too damn long. They didn't get that shit out of the way. Well, you're rolling this thing through. Would it shock you if they drafted a wide receiver in the first 3 picks?
No. And that's and I've been talking about this for the last few days, especially. I think that this is where the big risk is for the Eagles. Because if you're going to get rid of AJ, if it's going to go down, then the big mistake, in my opinion, is to try to take a wide receiver in round 1 instead of maybe the best player available. The Eagles have gotten in trouble in Howie specifically in the draft when he drafts trying to fill a need instead of taking the best player available. And the Eagles have to be cautious of that. And I'm specifically really talking about round 1. I think taking a wide receiver in round 1 would be a big mistake.
You know what, Mark? How about this? Where are you guys at? 13? Where are you guys right now? 14?
12.
12.
12.
Okay. 12. Well, here, follow me here. Would it shock you if they drafted Tate and they drafted Tate preparing themselves for Pickens to leave next year when he goes and they don't franchise tag him?
I think the Cowboys are in a position where I think they're going to try and get themselves a linebacker. One way or the other, they're going to try and get a green dot. And if that
you do have to prepare for
I agree. You do. But what they'll do is they're going to look for the best player available. And one thing the Cowboys always like to do is get a number 1 prospect in the first round, whatever position it is. Like when you start thinking about Travis Frederick, of course, center, they backed up, they took him. They like to get a 1 or 2 in the draft. So whatever position, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a wide receiver or offensive tackle that ends up falling to him. However, you never know how the draft's going to go. It might end up being that all of a sudden offensive tackles start flying off the boards, and some of these defenders that we're looking at, Downs or Styles or something or other, starts falling in the same way that CD did. So I think the best move for them, just sit back right there where you are. If somebody offers you a king's ransom, move back.
Who have you been more impressed with, Philly, since 2021? Sirianni or Hurts?
Hurts. It's not even a debate. It's not even I don't even think about it. I think Sirianni, and I said this before, I think he does some things all right.
He's
but I
fourth
think for
all
the
time.
most part, but how many coaches on the Eagles had rosters like that?
Okay. Now here, I mean, he doesn't have Troy Aikman or Roger Staubach at quarterback here. We're not talking about that. He's built an offense around the quarterback's limitations.
Howie has built the offense around Jalen Hurts, right? With the offensive line, bringing in the receiver. It's Howie that has hit on the draft picks that has built that defense. I think Nick is, I'm sorry, in a lot of ways, I feel Nick is along for the ride sometimes. I just do.
Well, then, why are they changing the entire offense around? Wouldn't you have done this, Mark? Mark. Maybe you can make sense of this, and Philly, I hope you can as well. You're 50-18 in 4 years. You've won a Super Bowl and you've won an NFC title. Got a ton of wins in the last 4 years. Been to 2 Super Bowls. Think about this, Mark, and decided in the offseason to do this. Let's fire the pass game coordinator, the run game coordinator, the offensive line coach, and the OC. And let's hire people that are completely different than anything the quarterback has ever done in his entire career in Philadelphia.
What hasn't he done?
No. He hasn't. He's not going to run a Sean McVay offense.
How do you know? He's had 6 offensive coordinators.
You really?
He's literally had what?
Well, then why are you changing?
Run a short passing game?
Why are you changing then?
Because the offense was. Did you see how bad it was?
You're 50-18, Mark. You're 50-18,
dude. A high school team was better.
With that high school offense, they're 50-18 and 2 Super Bowl appearances and a win.
Yeah,
and they feel they have to now go to a McVay offense.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to do something.
You're going to turn something inside out with Mark. Get this, with a play caller who's never made a playbook or called a play in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the guy's shirt.
The Cowboys.
Look at his shirt.
The Cowboys were 32nd.
Look at his shirt.
You got nowhere to go but up with that defense, okay?
I'm sorry, but that offense got away for a long time, especially with the running game when Barkley came, and that helped a lot. But when that went and that wasn't to the par that it needed to be, the Eagles were one-dimensional. They were easy to figure out. I did streams every week, so everybody was calling out the plays. They were calling out the plays in my chat.
Okay.
You had to do something.
You won the Super Bowl one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Mark,
did.
Listen, guys, follow me here on this.
I'm following. I'm trying.
In 2024, Philly used to come on this program all the time when we did this segment and say, the Eagles don't have to throw the ball because we have an iconic run game, correct?
Yeah.
Do we all agree with that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In 2025, when they had to get more volume passing because they were second in pass. Hey, Mark, do you know that the Eagles were second in protection and pass protection as an offensive line in 2025? Yeah. So when they had the best part of the offensive line working for pass protection, they couldn't up the volume in passing. Why?
Because of the coaching. You want to put it on the quarterback. I don't believe that.
So you believe in plays first, not players first, right?
It was funny because every game we watched, it depends on the context.
You think plays first and not players?
It depends on the context of specifically. You can't just use and say it's the play calling over the players generally. I can't say that generally. In the case of the Philadelphia Eagles, every week I watched the same pattern. The Eagles come out, and what do? They go down the field, they score for the first quarter and a half, they move the ball effectively. Defense adjusts, then boom, the Eagles are stuck in the water. Until maybe the fourth quarter, they get one drive out of it, something happens, and they pull a game out. This was every week. At some point, I think the players are being put in horrible situations, and it all came to fruition in that playoff where they asked Hurts to call the play. So, yes, I do think in the context of the Eagles, it was the coordinator and the coaching that was letting down the players. I do.
But wait a minute, Philly. If he's being consulted on what he thinks is good, and he's changing play calls, because they say he changes a lot of the play calls and stuff because he was figuring that what they were calling wasn't working, then how come it wasn't working?
What was he?
Was it the quarterback?
How do you know which plays were working, were not working? Like, we don't know. I don't know which plays he changed that didn't work or did work. I do know. Well, actually, it's not true. I know plays that we have microphones where they're saying Hurts called the play, change of play, scored a touchdown. So I don't know what specific plays, it was. But why would a coach allow his quarterback to call a play that he knows isn't going to work or doesn't like or isn't good? Where's the coach?
Because he's a deep and didn't want him to go ahead and have a hissy fit.
Oh, because they're scared. No, I don't believe that. See, that to me, no, I don't believe that.
In 2023, when he had his highest volume season of passing, he had 30 turnovers, counting fumbles, 30, 15 and 17 games. The first 4 games of 2024, Mark, he had 36 in 21 games, turnovers, to Jalen Hurts, with high volume. And he was averaging 33 passes a game in the first 3. After 2024, and they decided to run the ball, he threw for an average of 21. He went from 32 to 21 passes a game. There were 19s and 15s. They took the ball out of his hand in 2024. They were not balanced. They were 29th in passing. They had the 4th worst passing attack. And in 25, Philly, when they needed that attack because the run game wasn't efficient enough, they couldn't win games. After the first month of the season, they were 7-7.
That's right. Well, wait. Didn't they start 8-2 or something like that last season? When did they start? What was their first?
Oh, I just know this. After September, from the rest of the season on, they were 7-7.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a mindset, and I had the mindset too, because what I saw in 2024 was everybody knows you're going to run it, but they can't stop it anyways. That was the attitude that they had going in there. But when they couldn't run the ball and they had to throw it, they did struggle. And to me, this is the great question. This is what I say we're going to figure out this year, whether it's the coach or the player. I don't believe that the player, a guy who you say is limited in the passing game, maybe he is. But if he's limited in a passing game, then he better have pretty good coordinators that can put players in positions for him to make plays and passes. But I think Nick Sirianni got caught up and hung up on his 41-2 record of the turnover battle. And I think that you saw every game the Eagles go in a half would seem like a lead, and then they would just go into this prevent offense. They would tell Hurts, don't throw it. If it's a close way of tight, don't worry about it. Just throw it away and go on to the next play. I truly believe that's what was going on.
Mark, how about this? The least amount of passing attempts, completions, yards, touchdown throws for Jalen Hurts was the year they won the Super Bowl. The most they had when it comes to attempts and passing yards, he had 30 turnovers. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you look at it any other way. And then in 22, he ran the ball more. This last year, he ran the ball the least of any year since he's been in the league.
And you'll see that continue.
Really, my contention with Hurts is, if you think he's going to be a pocket passer, and he thinks, no, I didn't say you. I don't mean you. If Jalen Hurts thinks he's going to be strictly a pocket passer like Dak, you're not going anywhere with that.
I don't think that's what they want. I'm hoping that's what they
don't
want to do with him. I think that Hurts should throw 25, 30 attempts a game. I think that's a good area for him. And the Eagles have to run the ball. I think that's the way they got to be. But you can't be so predictable where that people watching TV know what you're going to do, and then tell me that your players are going to be successful put in positions that are horrible. You got to have coaches that can adjust to a game, not until the fourth quarter, and just sit doing. I mean, every week I watch them come out, move the ball, defense adjust, and then they're stuck because the offensive coaches could not change or adjust to the game plan. It was every week.
Let me go here with you, Mark. If Dak Prescott throws the ball over 600 times, you're going to be in a massive problem. To me, you've got to get a run game going this year. And I mean a guy with 1,400 yards. I know you had a pretty good run game a year ago, but that's got to become an established part of your team. Do you think the running game will improve enough to help Dak? As Dak's getting older, you can't keep throwing these 60 passes up a game. You're not going to win anything, and you're not going to be in the conversation. You know, I could sit here and say that Jalen Hurts threw for 2,900 yards. Well, they were smart enough to figure it out and go, well, we got a guy who's going to go for 2K. Because the ground game won. Okay.
And that's the key, Sills. That's the key to this offense being successful next year. You got to fix your run game.
I'm not going to disagree that the running game is important, but what is also important too is that you get some takeaways because you're getting short fields, you're getting the defense that's not ready, you're getting better opportunities. And that is something that was sorely missing last year. We could not get takeaways to save our life. Our defense needs to help out our offense, and that will help prolong Dak's career.
Okay, one question for each of you here. Mark, where are you going in the draft? I keep asking because I think that stuff wobbles every year. Where are you going in the draft, in your opinion, right now?
They want to go defense, but it's going to see. I don't think they want to reach, because when you think about us reaching for like Tyler Guyton and reaching for like Taco Charlton because we were drafting for need, they'll go for best player available, and they're just going to let the draft fall however it falls to them.
How about you, Philly? Where do you think the Eagles go?
I think they should go offensive line. My fear is that they're going to go edge rusher or wide receiver because of need. I'm afraid that they're going to fall into that trap. And I would like to see them do something at the edge with a veteran, because I think they'll draft the edge rusher, but they're going to need it. They desperately need one. So I'm a little worried about what they may be thinking now. So we'll see.
Man, the drama, baby. I got to tell you, hey, what video are we going to get today there, Mr. Holmes?
I don't think I need to. I mean, I'm just enjoying listening to Philly just kind of shaking his head and, trying to defend, Jalen Hurts there and stuff.
I don't have to defend Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. How's your boy doing?
Well,
you know what I mean? and here's the thing is let's face it. This is Dallas's good time of year. Their chaos starts during camp and during preseason and during all that. So,
I got to tell you, Mark is enjoying himself watching all this.
It's April. April. He always enjoys himself in March and April. He'll even have a good May, and he'll have a good June. He'll get a little bit. He'll get a little bit.
August.
End of August.
The drama's not ending here anytime soon.
He'll be on his bathroom floor drunk in August.
Guys, I can't tell you how I enjoy this so much, man. You guys are just absolutely sensational. Philly, you are without a doubt. You are a legend, and Mark, you are an absolute. Mark, give that shirt. Give that shirt to Philly one more time. Put that bad puppy up there, man. Look at this.
Look at me.
Could you imagine if I wore a Mannion shirt, you would have lost your mind. So you would have lost your mind.
See there, look. He thinks. See, look at this. He thinks I throw you cream puff question, and I get on his ass over here. That's not true, man. Are you kidding me? I love you, man.
I love you too.
That's absolutely true. Guys, I can't wait for the draft, man. I know. I can't wait. By the way, I can't wait to see what happens next. Hopefully, Diana keeps it going on, man. Maybe she's with Les Need next too. I don't know.
Her poor husband went to.
Every week I come on here, it's something new, man. I mean,
poor husband.
Last week it was the article on Hurts. What's it going to be?
That husband.
Dude.
That husband knew he had problems when the doctor said your son's built like a linebacker. It was problems.
Hey.
It was problems.
Well, 2 months ago, she admitted that her and her husband weren't speaking. So there were problems before this all transpired.
Oh man, he's totally tagging that wood now. Holy cow, man. Oh, hey, look, you imagine waking up and you look and there's your old lady on the front page of the New York Post. They're holding hands. They're sitting in a sauna and they're at one of them sex hotels, the adult hotels where, you get the chubby worked up and you're over there and you guys are hanging out. You're in the hot tub.
Ooh,
dude, I would never get into a hot tub or anything in a place like that.
No,
Are you crazy, man? I'd have
That's
somebody
crazy.
taping
No way.
me or some shit. No way would I be.
Do you
in a
think
room.
that was Big Dom? Big Dom snapped them photos.
Hey, by the way, watch this. I think Big Dom. I think all this helps the Eagles. I agree with Zander. I think this helps the Eagles. And hey, guess what? Now what you got to do is, if you're New England, you got to be compelled, because I'll tell you what, if he is giving pillow talk to a reporter, Patriots might lose your first round draft choice.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That's tampering.
It is.
Now,
Yeah.
if she's saying it, she don't work for the league. But if he's giving internal inside out, you could lose. Remember, they took that first round pick away from Miami because they contacted Brady. Remember when the Dolphins contacted Brady? They took their first round pick away 2 years ago. So I keep an eyeball on that. My friend, I will see you. Excellent.
All right, man.
Story. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Make sure you check their great workout. Mark, thank you.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. Peace.
You guys are awesome, man. By the way, where's that 4x4? This guy went and said this. No. She's not going to be involved with tampering at all. He might. She has nothing to do. You said her. Isn't that tampering? Not with her. So he said that those, 31 turnovers were over 2 years. They were over 21 games. Not 2 years. 21 games. He had 31 turnovers. Jalen Hurts, with higher volume of passing. 31 turnovers in 21 games. 17 in the first 4. How you doing? Let me go back here and get these. You got a title for three of you. The Three Stonads. Like it. I'm hearing a report from ESP. The Eagles in talks with trading for Brian Thomas Jr. or Marvin Harrison. AJ's gone. Yeah. Hey, get this. Hey, Kyle. You know what's crazy great? Every single one of those guys who came in here today thought, the report that Diana Rossini put out there is a lie. No, it ain't. No, it's not. It's not a lie. It's truth, justice, and big sales. You're the ones that moan over. Hey, you know why I never get upset with reports like this? I know human nature in our business. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that a chick banged a coach allegedly to get information. No. His calls, texts to AJ are closer to 10. Yes. Now, if that's true, you don't know that. Rossini had loaded bullshit reporting to sway a trade. You cried over an hour defending it unsuccessfully. My friend, get this. Once again, trade's happening. You know why? It's not just Diana Rossini saying it. And the Eagles were listening on a trade with the Rams. Diana Rossini is not the only person talking about him leaving. Adam Schefter reported something yesterday post June 1. Keep denying it, bro. You're going to be so fucking wrong. It's going to be disgusting. I can't wait. Yeah, wait a minute. Maniac. Really? Once again, get this. What the fuck else is? Wait a minute. M. Reyes pissing me off. I've been in this business 40 years, and some dude who doesn't know anything of what he's talking about upsets me. Well, that's a new one. My only thing is, why would they trade him to the Patriots over every other team? I'm not sending him where he wants to go or a contender. Let's see here. Adam Schefter's source was who? That chick? No. Hang on for a second. You think that Adam Schefter, his sources are any different than Diana Rossini's? No. They're on a bulk text. They're on a bunch of, there's like six or seven names. Adam, you know who told me this? Armando Salguero. There's like 6 or 7 names of guys that are on a group text that the general managers text information to. What, you think that's not? What? When Adam Schefter, how and where does he get those from? He gets them from the agents. Jimmy Sexton, CAA, Drew Rosenhaus, the guy in Houston. There's 2 other agents. And they got all these guys on group texts. That's why they don't get any of the numbers wrong, because the agents are sending it to them. Same with the general managers. I do. I do have her contact. You know why? Because all accredited. Here, let me show you something. So, like, all accredited. I'll give you guys something here. I'll take a picture for you. And I'll show you what we all get, including me. Let's see here. So, I'll show you something. I probably shouldn't show it to you. Let's see. Here's the 2025 Black Book. Okay. Here's the Black Book. And I'll show you. I can't, and I'm not going to show you numbers, but I'll show you this. I'll show you the front page. And I'll take a picture. John has one. I'm sure John has one of these. Okay. So every credited NFL media person gets one of these media directories. It's called the Black Book. I get one every year from the National Football League's front office. And in that, here, I'll go a little more, but I won't show you numbers because a lot of these are private numbers. Here's the Black Book. Let me go right here. Okay. I think this is good enough. So here's the index. Let me go over here. Back to you guys. Okay. So here's the index of what's in here for all the teams and all the media. It's the index. And this is what's in it. ABC Radio, NBC, CBS, Elias Sports, all ESPN contacts, all NFL accredited media, Patriots, Saints, all with private numbers, cell phones, and email addresses. Anybody in the NFL I want to contact. We know when Zander says all the time, you know everybody. Well, those books there are given to exclusive media people. It's the NFL Black Book. My wife used to get one. And every single number of every single general manager, every single person in the front office, Howie Roseman's email's in there. I could give you Howie Roseman's email right now, but again, I think that's not cool, so I won't. But we have all their email numbers, all of it. And I'm connected to the Rams, the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Giants. I get like here, I'll show you something I just got from the Buccaneers. The Bucks will do this. Did the Bucks send me something today? Yes, the Bucks just sent me something. Okay, so check this out. So I get a bunch of these from the NFL teams. I'll show you this. So here's what I get from the NFL and NFL teams. Here's the Bucs schedule for organized team activities and offseason media. On the 15th, general manager Jason Light will talk. On the 20th, there'll be players available. On the 23rd to the 25th is the NFL draft. On 8 and 9, rookie minicamp. They send me all their schedules. So all the teams send me this. So a lot of the things we get from the National Football League. Like this Black Book is one of the absolutely greatest things. And if you're in the Black Book, that means you're accredited. And I happen to be in it, Dan Sileo show. And I've been in it for 20 years. And so you have all the numbers. So when you say, do I have Diana Rossini's number? Of course I do. She's got mine too, all my contacts. She's got my cell phone number. She got all of it. John's in. Let me see if John McMullen's in here. I know John's in here because they got him with Sports Illustrated. There. Let me see here. Here. Let me make it a little bigger. Let's see here. And here's the people in Philly I have. Actually, here's Sports Illustrated. Yep, John's in here. Albert Breer, cell phone. USA Today. Here's what we have. Like, here, let me go to the Eagles. I'll tell you exactly who the numbers we have for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is that Philly? It's Arizona. Hang on. I'll tell you exactly the numbers we have for the front office. I've got email addresses. I've got Bob Lang's number. I got Bob Lang's cell. Let's see here. All accredited. This is all. When you get the Black Book, and we see the. Here's the Raiders. Let me see what we have in Philly here. Las Vegas. There's the Rams. There's Sean McVay's number. Here's the Eagles right here. Here's what we have. I haven't looked at this in a bit here. Let's see what we have with the Eagles. Here's Philly right here. Are we coming up to it? Damn Jets. Let's go. Here's the Eagles. There's Lang's cell, office, and email. There, Zach Berman, Martin Frank, Reuben Frank, Ed Kratz, Jeff McClain, Tim McManus, John McMullen right there. Yep. Elliott Shore Parks. Dave Zagaro, Associated Press. They've got the Delaware County Daily Times guys, NBC guys. Here's all the phone numbers for the NBC guys. New Jersey Advanced Media, Philadelphia Inquirer, the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, Philly Voices here, Merrill Reese's home phone and cell, Mike Quitt home phone and cell. There's Jeff Kerr. There's John Kincaid's numbers. KYW. Zander, I should send you this. Zander, I should send you that book. I should send you that. I'm going to right now. This would help him. Let's see here. By the way, very few people get this book. So I'm going to send it to him. Tell me if you got it, Z. Tell me if you got the book. Because that's a dope thing to have. Is that my boy Craig Larson sent it to me. Used to produce my show. Email. Take a look at it. Hopefully I sent it to the right email. Hold on. I don't want that being sent anywhere else. Holy shit, I don't want that being sent anywhere else. You got it? Okay. Z, that book will change your life. Because if you want to talk to somebody in any respected market, you got older cell phones, and now you have something that's one of Big Sills' big toys every year in contacts. Welcome to the group, kid. That book will never change. Many of them numbers in there. The Black Book. The NFL Black Book. Hey, I guarantee you won't see this douchebag's name in there. Seals, who's going to want to talk? Yep. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Don't want to send it to the wrong email without double checking first. Okay. After the fact. Yeah, fair enough. Zander, you like that book, don't you? Hey, Z, look at that book there, man. Dan Sileo, do you think the Eagles go wide receiver first round? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they think they're going right now. He has access to every accredited NFL player or NFL media person now in the in the sport. Yes. Right now, Zander in his hand probably has 2,000 phone numbers for accredited NFL people. They give those books out to so few people. You think anyone gets those books? I don't think so. By the way, baseball has it, basketball has it, and the NHL has a book just like that. It's for accredited media. And we have people inside the inside NFL sending me that all the time. Seals, can you give any insight on the quarterbacks you played with in college or pros? And you have Jalen's personality. It's difficult. It's got to be difficult. I'll tell you what, Vinny Testaverde was very difficult of a guy to figure out. Quiet, didn't fit into all of our like the way we were. You know, he was really reserved. He was not like Bernie. Bernie was a born leader. I'm not saying Jalen's not. I'm not saying Vinny's not. It's just those guys were different. You know, they didn't really say much. He kind of didn't fuck with them. You know? Well, you know, I probably should have did it a year ago. But that's a big deal having one of those black books. Because you have access to over 2,000 numbers now. That's where John gets his numbers. Let me ask you a question, Clown Show. What's the difference between elite and Super Bowl champion, Buckhead? You don't have to be a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Elite quarterbacks play every week, right? Never have a down week. Play as consistently as they possibly can. That's the difference. You think winning a Super Bowl means you're an elite quarterback. That's like saying Trent Dilfer is a better quarterback than Dan Marino. It's an asinine comment. Get this. Winning a Super Bowl has nothing to do with how great you are. Sam Darnold just won one. Is Sam Darnold elite now? So let me ask you this. You think Sam Darnold is more elite now than Warren Moon or Jim Kelly? Evil. So is Brad Johnson. Okay. Trent Dilfer won one Super Bowl. Jalen has two. Did Sam Darnold win MVP? Okay. So Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls and an MVP. Is he elite? Is he elite? Is Jim Plunkett an elite quarterback? He won 2 Super Bowls and 1 MVP and no Super Bowls. Is he elite? He's a journeyman. Got fired in New England. Didn't do shit when he was with the 49ers. Came to the Raiders, his third team, and he was 2 Super Bowls. How many people think Eli Manning? That sounds pretty elite to me. Who'd he beat? He beat the Eagles. And he beat the Redskins. And he's a journeyman. Eli Manning's not elite. Like, if nobody would say Eli Manning's an elite quarterback. 500 winning quarterback. He's not elite. He's got 2 Super Bowls. 80s. Yeah, the good Redskins, the ones that won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, he beat that team. Yeah. Eli is an elite, but he got respect around the league for beating Brady twice. Yeah, agreed. So Jim Plunkett is elite and Dan Marino's not. According to this guy. Jim Plunkett, because he won 2 Super Bowls, is an elite quarterback, but Dan Marino's not. Solid take, guy. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. What a dummy. Going to a Super Bowl is possibly with a game manager, but never missing the playoffs and going to 2 Super Bowls in a 4-year span. Okay, well, Joe Flacco did the same thing. First 5 years, went to the playoffs, won a Super Bowl, and won a Super Bowl MVP. Is Joe Flacco elite? Dude, nobody thinks what you think is true. How can Leon Brian Banks, the third, get a black book? Don't think that's working, my friend. Really, really like you, but I do not think that's working. I'm passing those things out. Someone asked me, Leon is trolling Diana Rossini. How'd she get it? Yeah. Leon narcs me out because he narked me out. Sileo gave it to me. That's all I need. I get a call from Brian McCarthy. Hey, this is Brian McCarthy. You know a dude named Leon? Yeah, I do. You passed the black book out to Leon? He's been prank calling Diana Rossini. Dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, that's what I would get. There's that shirt. That shirt is fabulous. I love that shirt, man. Yes, sir. I love that shirt. Way to go, Mark Holmes. I want an elite team. That's right. Here, look at this guy. Last time I checked, Super Bowls are the goal. A team goal, yes. Getting it done puts you in the history books. Unless Super Bowls no longer matter, nobody told me. Who knew? They don't matter when it comes to getting paid. Zero. Quarterbacks aren't paid. I'm going to tell you one more time. They're not paid on winning Super Bowls, dude. They're paid on their ability. You miss the point all the time. Guys like you don't get it. Nobody's paid on winning Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes right now is the 14th highest paid player. Money doesn't equal elite. So in his eyes, Sam Darnold's now an elite. Hey, so let me ask you this. You think Sam Darnold's elite now? Having been on 5 different fuck this guy. He's dumb as a rock. As fans, we don't care how much it costs. We want the Super Bowl. Okay. Sounds right. For me, y'all get a call from K. I think K's on there. You guys are disgusting. See, I knew you'd take it there. The sight of Stabler and Madden talking on the sidelines. Madden used to say, crowd going crazy. 2 minutes left. Kenny was the coolest in the stadium. Love Kenny. Love Kenny. Absolutely. But as a ball player, I want the Hall of Fame. I want the Hall of Fame and money, and I hope my team's good. But Brian, according to that guy, see this guy here? I don't know. Is he? What are his stats over the last few years, Sills? Like who? Jalen Hurts? Oh, his stats over the last 2 years are exceptional. On his 5th different team. Is it 5? Jets, Carolina, San Francisco, Minnesota, and Seattle. You got a guy that's been on 5 teams. You got a guy that's been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. That guy's calling him elite. Prove it year for Jalen, or it's Tanner time moving forward, Sills. You think the Eagles feel like they have the next guy already in the building? I'm not sure about that. I'm slowly starting to realize that if Jalen Hurts was not on the Eagles, he would be Jamarcus Russell. If it wasn't for the $250 million, he makes Tanner would have gotten a shot. Probably so. Jalen Hurts is not very good as a passer. He's really good as an all-around player. But as a single thing that he does well, he's a better runner than he is passer. We would not agree to that. And Hurts hates that narrative. Jalen Hurts earlier in his career had a better chance of leading the NFL in rushing, like with rushing touchdowns, than with passing touchdowns. Is that fair? Shit, Jalen Hurts may have led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. That's a good point. Who are the top? Let me go here and ask this question. Okay, let me go here. Who are the top 5 passing? Excuse me. Who are the top 5 rushing touchdown players in the NFL in the last 5 years? Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is number 2 in rushing touchdowns in the last 5 years. And, I mean, he has a better shot back then leading the NFL in rushing TDs than passing TDs. He was never going to do that. Jalen won a Super Bowl with the number 1 defense, running back, offensive line, running game, and top 5 receiving core. The passing game was ranked in the bottom 5. People are talking as if it were all Jalen. Of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. Of course. I mean, like I said, I mean, look, if you're looking right now, here are the quarterbacks right now in the game today that are better, in my opinion, here than your guy. And that any general manager, including your own, would draft over Hurts if they were in the game right now. You take Stafford over him. You take Goff over him. You take Prescott over him. You take May over him. You would take Darnold over him. You would take Lawrence over him. You take Caleb Williams. You would take Nix, Herbert, Mayfield, Mahomes, Jordan Love, Josh Allen. Then it's probably Hurts. Maybe not Brian. Maybe Bryce Young. Lamar Jackson. These are all players that are better. There's a lot of quarterbacks who were number 1 defense, number 1 offense, and didn't win a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is the only guy to have a good team around him. Even Montana needed a team. Name me one Hall of Fame player Joe Montana played with in his first Super Bowl on offense. Name me one. Name me one offensive player that he had on that team. Name me one offensive player that Eli Manning played with offensively on that second Super Bowl that they beat the Patriots that will go to the Hall of Fame. Name me one. Name me one player that Eli played with on offense that will go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the second Super Bowl. Okay? Montana. Not Jerry Rice. That's right. The tight end wasn't a Hall of Fame player. I said on offense. You said in his huddle. Here, let me go back. What'd you say? There's a lot of quarterbacks who were number 1 off defense and offense, didn't win a Super Bowl. Jalen is the only guy to have a good team around him. Even Joe Montana needed a good team. Montana never had anybody in his offensive huddle. They weren't even all pros. Dwight Clark's not a Hall of Famer guy. Dwight Clark was a really good player. He didn't put up exceptional numbers. I'm not even sure Dwight Clark ever had 1,000 yards. Anthony Munoz played on the 49ers. Boy, is this guy stupider than I thought. Jalen is a good quarterback, not a great. A very good under the big lights. He was a great leader, but if these locker room reports are true, that'd be a reason how we would want to get off of him. We'll see. Gotcha, my friend. Thank you. Seals, do you devalue the Brady Tampa Super Bowl? His offense was stacked. No, because as he got older, he needed more help. When Brady was younger, he didn't need the help. Mahomes is in that same place now. They need more talent around him. You can only win Super Bowls with Juju Smith-Schuster and Amendola and Edelman for so long. Then you need elite guys around you because you're 40 years old. I mean, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl at 44, and he needed players around him at 44. At 30, Tom Brady didn't need those guys. He could take people like Amendola and Edelman and win Super Bowls. Tom Brady did not play with one first-round pick that won a Super Bowl in any one of those Super Bowls except for, I think, Sony Michel in his entire time in New England. There was not one first-round pick. As a matter of fact, if you think about how that team was constructed, there's not one skill set first-round pick that Tom Brady played with in New England at any time that won a Super Bowl. Not one. Edelman, Amendola, Deion Branch, who was a Super Bowl MVP. Gronk was a second rounder. Brady was a sixth rounder. All the skilled guys were low draft picks. That's the secret sauce to New England. They didn't spend draft equity on any of those guys except for Gronk. They didn't pay any money for 5 years. They didn't pay anybody. Okay? Yeah, you got great value from them. I'll agree to that. Crappy division. Okay, well, crappy division was secret. Oh, that's funny. I don't remember them having a problem with the Colts, the Ravens, or any team in the NFC playoffs. Says the people that think Jerry Rice played with Montana on all 4 of his Super Bowls are the same people that think Ed Reed was on the 2000 Ravens roster. Correct. That's right. Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, none of those dudes were on that first Super Bowl. You had Burt Cooper and Freddie Solomon and Wendell Tyler. Those were the players that played with Joe Montana in that first Super Bowl, and Dwight Clark. And the rest of those guys were just dudes, really. Montana never played with anybody. The running back was Wendell Tyler. The tight end was Burt Cooper and Dwight Clark. And Freddie Solomon was a receiver. That's who he played with. Won a Super Bowl. Right. Ronnie Lott probably the only other. I think Fred Dean may have been on that defense. I think you're right. Because nobody in the offensive line, he never played with the Hall of Fame. Joe Montana never played with the Hall of Fame O-lineman. Nobody on Joe Montana's teams from the O-line ever made Hall of Fame. What's that tell you? What does that tell you that he never played with a Hall of Fame offensive lineman? Montana got the ball out on time. Montana was a savant on reading the West Coast offense and being able to implement the offense. He never played with a Hall of Fame lineman. Never played with until this past year, a Hall of Fame running back. Was a Pro Bowler. Yes. Well, Dwight Clark's numbers are very mediocre, though. You're making it sound like Dwight Clark had these phenomenal years. He was a really good player, I won't lie. And to your point, I didn't realize this. He had 1,100 yards that year they won the Super Bowl. That San Francisco 81 team. It was a Super Bowl champion. He had 1,100 yards. I didn't realize that. 85 catches from the tight end position. That 49er team, though, I think they went 14-2. And, here are the receivers. Freddie Solomon, Dwight Clark, Earl Cooper. It was Earl Cooper. Ricky Patton, Charlie Young, Walt Easley. These were dudes that played on that team. There wasn't a lot of good football team. There wasn't a lot of good. Well, there were a lot of good football players on that team. I'll take that back. Fields, name me a team that was good in the NFL when the 49ers won their first Super Bowl without Jerry Rice that year. Name me a team that was good in the NFL when the Niners won the first Super Bowl. Well, he did end up going on to win 3 more. I mean, so what's your point? You're diminishing. I disagree with that because there was no free agency. And in 1981, that year in the league, there was no free agency. So, 81. I think the Redskins were good. I don't think the Giants were good yet. 49ers burst onto the scene. The Cowboys were good. That was coming up. That was still Landry. Bills, Jets, Dolphins, modern day Commanders, Giants, and Cowgirls. If reporters are given the reports to report on, then why do they win awards? Serious question. What reporting are you truly doing if the teams are giving you the info? I completely agree. You know the Pulitzer Prize? So the people in the Washington Post and in the New York Times, and I'm not talking political here, they got Pulitzer Prizes for the Russia hoax. That nothing was proven, and they won Pulitzers. And it was all debunked, even by Robert Mueller himself. And they won. And you win awards, like you said, Adam Schefter. How does he win an award when agents and the GMs are giving them the information? He's not breaking any news. He's not Woodward and Bernstein. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me pay some bills here. Hey, without a doubt, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America, for a reason. We appreciate them being part of our program so much. We appreciate them. Thank you, John. And Ultima Morgan. I tell you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K. They ended up getting nearly $26 million in settlement. Or the family in Florida, $350K. They ended up getting nearly $12 million. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the jet setters and the high rollers, to the shot takers and the tastemakers. Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Take it easy, guys. We appreciate you very much. We will see you tomorrow going 2 to 6, and we'll catch you on the flip side.